24 hours, my friends. Just 24 short hours. We will be right back on it. Welcome in to Ben and Woods 97.3 The Fan. 7 years ago today, we were talking on the phone and texting about what this new show was going to sound like. And tomorrow we will celebrate that. We will celebrate Padres opening day. We will be getting our heads right with you. And very excited to be here today. That's a bold-faced lie. Today is going to be very difficult. I just want to get today over with so quickly and then get to the good stuff tomorrow. That's what I want. So, yes, I'm glad to be here with you, but I'm ready to get this party started. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. Good morning, Paulie. Paulie's the executive producer, and, oh, is he ever, the imaging director for 97.3 The Fan. He has been imaging directing his ass off for the last week or so, getting ready for the season. Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Benjamin, we forget about all of the extra work Paulie has to do when baseball season gets here. I look forward to baseball season because I love baseball. I love covering the team.
I hate baseball season.
I was going to say, you probably hate.
I think the Padres should probably relocate.
Go to Nashville.
Yeah. No, I'm kidding, of course.
It's gnarly.
It's hell week for sure.
It's hell week. Yeah.
It's not even a bad thing. It's not hard work.
No,
it's
tedious. Tedious. I hate tedious work. I'll take hard work over tedious work any day of the week.
Short amount of hard work versus a
100%.
lot of tedious work. Yeah. But again, it's a very much a one and done for the season.
Yeah.
I got to get all the pre and post game and in game elements and features all produced and ready to go for tomorrow and for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
But after that, then it goes back to
literally
after today, it goes back to normal.
It's just hard because we were texting about today's show and tomorrow's show, and Paulie's just in the weeds, man. It's like when you're in the weeds on something else, it's hard to focus on really what you need to be focused on, and that's this show. But I'm understanding. I probably wouldn't have been as understanding 5 years ago, and probably would have screamed at Adam or something about it. But I'm more understanding now. Because I do realize this stuff's got to get done. It's got to sound right. Paulie's the best at it. And, man, I do sympathize with you, Paulie. I know it doesn't help, but I got your back and I sympathize. I can't help you. If I could help take some of it off your plate, I would ask Ben to do it. And Ben can't help you either.
I cannot. This is something that Paulie is exclusive to at 97.3 The Fan. And he's just got to wear it for a few days.
He's got to wear it. Just 96 to the ribs.
But I mean, we are excited.
I don't know. I think instead of me setting aside, several hours on like a fun show open for tomorrow, maybe you guys come up with the show open.
How do we do it? I could
see how
I could try to piece one together
Yeah.
and see how it sounds tomorrow. Maybe I'll play it on my acoustic, record it on my phone.
Yeah. And then ask me to upload
Ask you to upload it, but I think it would sound great. Hey, let's get it started. Oh, geez, dude. Benjamin, how are you, buddy?
I'm good. Yeah, like you said, it's you remember when you were like 8 or 9 and your birthday was the next day?
Yeah.
And that day was just the longest, like, can I just get through today? I want to get to the birthday and all the fun tomorrow. So it definitely feels like that day before opening day.
Yeah, it's a bit like drinking from a fire hose too. We've got the live broadcast tomorrow. Hope to see all you guys out at Baja Rick's in the morning. It just you want to put together a good show, and there's a lot of moving parts that needs to happen, and you want to make sure that everyone has a good time as well. And it's just the baseball season is a bit like standing at the bottom of a mountain, looking up and going, "I can do it. I've done it. I've gotten there before." But holy crap, I forget, you forget just how daunting it can be, and having to plan around the games and everything else while also trying to be a good husband and father and teammate, employee, whatever. It's a bit daunting, but man, wouldn't want to do anything else. It is a blast. Today is always really one of the toughest days of the year. We just want to get this thing going. I want the real action.
So something unusual happened this morning. We all arrived at the Odyssey building at the same time and walked up and came up the elevator together. That has literally never happened.
Never once.
In the history of our show, where we've all
7
pulled
years.
in at the same moment. You usually get here a lot earlier than I do, but I was a little early today. You were probably running a little late.
I was running late.
And Paulie pulled in just as we were getting out of our cars.
Yep.
So we were all there. But I noticed as I was getting out of my car that this was weird. Your windshield wipers were not on the windshield. Like one of them was pointed like straight out like an antenna from your windshield. What was going on there? Never seen that on a car before.
Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I was driving in yesterday, and I noticed that my windshield wipers were a little bit frayed, and they were going, but it wasn't clearing the water off my windshield,
just smearing it around.
Frustrating.
Yeah,
it's very frustrating.
You know, I hate when that little flap
and
gets
you see
loose
the flap,
on the end.
yeah, loose flap.
Yeah,
and you see it whipping in the wind.
Hate that.
Real quick, I have said this before. None of us are car guys.
No.
I've changed my oil one time.
Yep.
I probably could change a tire if push came to shove.
If I had the right jack, I could change a tire.
But I'd
easily.
more likely just call AAA.
Correct.
Replacing a windshield wiper is ridiculously difficult for how simple it should be.
Yes, correct. So as I got here,
what did you do?
So I got here yesterday morning.
Go to the auto store and buy the right size windshield wipers, which figure that out. Good luck figuring that out first.
So I got in yesterday morning after it was just shoddy work by my windshield wipers. It was misty, and I was squinting to get here, and I go, you know what? In the interest of being safe, I'm going to get on Amazon. I'm going to order some new expensive Rain X, the brand Rain X. I'm going to get those. They were sitting at my house by the time I got home yesterday from the gym. They're sitting on the front porch. And I go, well, this will be great. Let me go out and switch these up right now. So I go out and there's the short one and then the long one. So I take the short one and I find a way to slide it
Is that
off.
true? Are they two different sizes?
Two different sizes.
I had no idea.
And I had to Google mine for my car and everything else.
No,
there's one long. The
one
on
the right is longer, and the short
the in front of you
is longer, and the one on the passenger side is shorter.
Correct.
I had no idea.
This one covers more surface area.
I thought they were identical.
All right. So
then you have a rear view wiper as well.
Right. So I got the one wiper off, the short one, and then I tried to get the short one on, and I did something wrong. And in fact, I was going to ask you, Paulie, if you could help me put them on after the show, but apparently you don't know either.
Very busy.
So I was sitting there and I tried for about 30 minutes and I couldn't get it on. And so I thought, all right, if I let this thing go on the window, it's going to scratch up my window. So I had to tilt it forward. I did not take the long one off. I just kept the driver's one on, shoddy as it is. So now downstairs in my car, sitting, and of course this morning I woke up, I walked out, I was like, why is the ground wet? And I go, oh boy. Look, I couldn't figure it out, man. And I think I broke part of the short one.
Oh no.
One of the clips came off. I found a way to put it back on, but I think I put it on the wrong way. I don't know how to do it.
What happened to the Woods I know and loved who would just go to the dealer and overpay by $400?
Just when I
windshield wipers replaced.
When I tried it,
sir, that'll be $572 for 2 new windshield wipers.
I mean, look, I'm getting dragged in the chat. And I'm not surprised. I'm the man card bit. That's fine. I'll hand it over. I get it.
Did you try a YouTube video?
So I didn't. And I thought about it for a second, and it just made me more frustrated. And I just said, Paulie can do it. So I thought Paulie will be able to do this in his sleep.
It's not part of his job description at all.
It's not, but we're friends. I would do it for if he needed me to do something for him, I would do it. Right? Need a reservation at a fancy restaurant that I know. Paulie, I'll take care of you. Right? I got you. I'll buy your dinner. So I took him off. I threw him in the front seat, and in my mind I go, Paulie will be able to do this in the morning. Paulie does everything.
Saying, I've never done it, but people in the chat saying this is super easy. 5 minutes. It's not. What did you do wrong?
I don't know. We should film after the show, all of us trying to get it on. It was really difficult, and I could not find the slot to get it.
It doesn't pop in. It's not a.
No, I thought it did. Now it slides out, and you have to slide it and pull, and I did, and that popped off. But it took 3 minutes for me to get it off. Even it sucks, dude. I'm the worst with this stuff. I wish I was better. I really do. I wish I could go out front on a Sunday, pop to my car. I grew up with men. And this, ring it. Go ahead and ring it, Paulie. Because There's a lot of women out there that can do way more with cars than I can. So you can ring the misogyny bell on me. But I remember being a kid vividly. My grandfather, jeans, can't call it a wife beater anymore, tank top, cigarette, hood of his car up, ratchet, always a ratchet. And I just remember being a kid and being like, what a badass. Yeah, and I got it fixed. Now, he also wasn't very good at fixing cars. So they would inevitably always break down. But somewhere along the way, I lost my way as far as that. I'm pretty good with a hammer. I can hammer and nail. I can change a light bulb. But when it comes to stuff like this, I'm just not good at it. And not only am I not good at it, like I'm embarrassingly bad at it.
Hey guys, Chris Fix here. Today we're going to change a wiper blade. Although it seems trivial, when it's snowing out or raining and it's dark, it'd be nice to have a reference to see how to do it real quickly.
2-minute video.
This one, as you can see, is shot. It's like coming apart in my hand. And you don't want to scratch your windshield.
Right.
So
yeah, see, I was smart.
I'll show you how to do this. In this case, this is the rear window wiper. All you're going to need is to figure out how big this windshield wiper is. And it's either in the book at like AutoZone or Advanced Auto or Pep
Go to AutoZone and read the book.
The books, or it's in your owner's manual.
So I looked at got the right one.
You got the right one.
Got the right one.
What you do is pull this back, turn it so that's perpendicular, and then put your fingers in between where it slides in, and just pull. And it comes undone from this clip. Now this is obviously this style windshield wiper. It's the hook style, I think it's called.
There is a hook. Yeah,
so again,
I have the hook.
Your windshield wiper's in. All you have to do is turn it perpendicular.
And then it pops.
Put your fingers in between here.
And then you
pull it through.
The one time I did it, the one time I did it years ago, I had different kinds, and it literally just slid out and slid on, and that was very simple. This one was difficult.
All right, who's going to be at Baja Rick's tomorrow to replace?
My car will be in valet at Baja Rick's. It will not be anywhere, but I need to get it done before then. So I do think we take Chris Fix down after the show, and try to get these things on. I want to see you try one.
Sidebar?
Yeah,
I needed my wipers going a little bit this morning. Not gonna have any rain tomorrow, are we?
I don't know. I thought about that too when I walked out this morning.
There's little pockets of rain on my drive in this morning. I was
tiny little pockets.
That's
I do not believe we have anything that would threaten baseball.
I don't care about the game.
But I don't want to sit out and get wet.
I care about
it'll probably be gray and misty at some point.
I love a live dewy remote. Just a dewy, moist remote. Eating a giant trough of lobster at 6:30 in the morning. In the morning dew.
Everything's just a little bit wet.
Oh, sweet Chris, our buddy Chris of Chris and Charisma goes, I can stop by on my way to work and do it. Man, you don't have to do that. We will figure it out. You guys are sweet angels. I was actually hoping you wouldn't notice my windshield wiper standing straight up this morning.
Is that attention saluting?
It really was
saluting outward.
It was very erect. How smart am I to know? Don't just run it without it. That was scratch up the window. Good. I'll give myself a little credit.
You knew more than I did. I didn't even know there were different sizes.
They say size doesn't matter, but it does.
Shocking that those two aren't the same size.
Well, what if you didn't know that you bought two long ones and there's one hanging off the side of your car? Ben, why do you have extra? Why is your foreskin on your? Why are your wipers uncircumcised, Benjamin? It was, man. It's just another. It was like when the plumber came over. He's like, "Hey, where's your valve?" I'm like, or sir, where's your fuse box? Let me call my wife at work real quick. I'm the worst. I get it. I'm the worst. I understand. I don't know why she married me. I have no idea. What am I going to teach my children? Hey, when in doubt, just call somebody to do it. It's just embarrassing, dude. It's embarrassing. So I'm embarrassed. I'm red. I'm embarrassed.
You'll teach them the mechanics of a good tease to keep people listening after the break, because that is an important life skill for most people.
Let me teach you guys how to do a tease. I'm telling you, man.
We don't know how to do this.
No, we're not really great at those either. Coming up next, more stuff on Ben and Woods.
We're going to set the menu.
Sleep says the reason why is it's so hard. It's a Bentley. It's not a Bentley, dude. It's not. I'm telling you. Like, I think when I got the fancy ones, The Rain X ones, those are a little fancier than the ones I'd had before. So I was trying to upgrade and do the right thing. Woods, you know how to use a plunger? I do know how to use a plunger. I'm trying to think of all the things.
You know, we live in San Diego where you're going to use those things 4 times a year.
Yeah, it's true.
I feel like the cheap ones are fine.
See, I don't know. I want it. I want it good. I want it like that's something I feel like it's like a haircut you don't skimp on. Windshield wipers. You can't be too safe with little kids in the car. You know, you just can't. And I noticed this is not good. This is not getting the clearance of the water that I needed. So I apologize to the audience. I don't know what to tell you. If you like looked up to me for any reason, I'm pretty much worthless when it comes to stuff like this. I can tell a good story, but that's about all I got in the old arsenal these days.
You got plenty of volunteers in the chat who
Thank
are
you
willing
guys.
to
You guys are the best.
Stop by and switch out your wiper blades during the show at some point. I don't know if we'll be able to do that. We do have some stuff to get to. We will set the menu for the program and tell you again how you can win Padres tickets. We've got another pair to the opening series against the Atlanta Braves. We're going to give them away at some point. Paulie has full power over when that is going to happen. We'll tell you what to listen for. Coming up next with Ben and Woods, get our first check of traffic this morning from Kelly Danick, and we will be off and running right after Woods and I tell you about trust and will. You want to leave your wiper blades to your kids? You can put that. You can put that in your will. You can do whatever you want. It's a really simple process, and it's something that you probably have been putting off, like Woods and I had until over the holiday break. We were introduced to trustandwill.com, followed their simple steps, just went and answered some online questions, and at the end, we had actual legal documents that were shipped to our house to cover, in the event of something happening to us, our family would have our wishes known.
You know, the older I get, man, the more I realize just how important it is to knock these things out. And I put it off for many, many years, even after having children, and something you would think you would do day one, and you don't. And I know there's a lot of you out there like me. So avoid probate, get a trust, no reason not to get it done. Just 20 minutes online, all the directions you need right there. It's super affordable. Make sure you have selected a guardian for your children. Don't leave your kids' lives to chance. Nothing is guaranteed these days.
And use the code FAN, because when you check out, you're going to get 20% off their already affordable prices and get free shipping of your estate documents. So make sure you put the code FAN in at checkout when you go to trustandwill.com. Ben and Woods sent you to trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Padres will hold a pre-season workout at Petco Park today. So I'd imagine we'll have full coverage this afternoon with new sound, and we'll have some stuff to talk about tomorrow morning. But it was a quiet day yesterday. Team got back on Monday from Peoria.
I thought about what they did yesterday.
I was wondering that myself. You get home after
Unpack.
you've been 6-7 weeks away, finally back with the family, or just in your house for a day.
Yeah.
Mike Schultz says, hey, take a day for yourself, guys, and we will see you on Wednesday. I imagine there's probably a lot of stuff gets backed up while you are gone during spring training.
Imagine going to that mailbox after 6 to 7 weeks and trying to
Well, I hope you
yank all your mail
I
out.
hope you had your mail on hold
Yeah.
during that time.
Yeah.
Because that's a clear sign to thieves that you're not home.
Yes, as it's overflowing.
Yes, that no one has been around to collect the mail.
Yeah, always get a neighbor to drag your cans out and in.
Oh,
You want to make it look like you're home at all times.
Put your lights on timers so they go on and off.
Yeah, 100%. And make sure somebody gets your mail. You don't want your mailbox overflowing.
Then you got the surprise packages that arrive at your door.
And it's filling up.
Yeah,
that's
bad too.
That's bad.
I'm guessing that baseball players have it pretty dialed in after a few spring trainings of how to manage while they're away. But I'm sure there's also a lot of stuff that they need to get to, just like the rest of us. They're
humans.
They are real people.
Yeah, human beings.
It still blows my mind a little bit.
Yeah, some of them they do superhuman things, but they are in fact humans. They bleed, they feel, all of those things. I try to remember that. People don't want to hear that. They want me to yell at them, and it's hard. I have a lot of respect for those guys, a lot.
Now, some of them are
incredibly
rich and can take advantage of that by getting some help, around the house to take care of some things for them. But most of them, Go to the grocery store.
Think about this.
Do things that we do as well.
Think about old Brandon Lockridge, who's never made a team out of spring training, right? I mean, and, he always has to go somewhere to set up shop, but he comes back. He's on the squad now, but it's tenuous at best. Like if he doesn't perform, like Manny knows he can start the season 0 for 75 and he's still going to be in the lineup and he doesn't have to sell his house.
True.
Brandon Lockridge is like, so what do I do? Where do I go? Do I get an apartment?
Do I get a hotel room?
Do I sign
an Airbnb?
Do I get an extended stay? Where? Joe Musgrove, do you have an extra house that I can live in with Dylan Cease? Like all those things that you think about.
I do think a lot of those fringe players that maybe don't know how long they'll be up here, I think they stay like at the Omni.
Yeah,
smart.
I think they just stay there for a while.
Would be elite. I could live in a hotel for the rest of my life.
I bet it's a moment when you feel secure enough, like I can move out of the Omni and actually get a place.
Yeah,
because I'm going to be around. But
think about a kid like Brandon Lockridge, though. Like you just said, never made a camp.
Never made a camp
out of spring training. Like if you're Brandon Lockridge, if I'm Brandon Lockridge, I'm probably showing up at 9 a.m. today, like for a workout.
Oh, yeah.
In the afternoon, because I want to get my locker set up. I just want to soak all of it in.
Bro, I'm drinking all the free drinks and stuff that they have in there. Like, oh, look at all these juices. Like, they have everything you could ever imagine.
What's in here? This is an equipment closet?
Massage. Like, yeah, I'm stuffing my bag full of gear and stuff, like extra wristbands and whatnot, because you never know when you're going to be back. You never know.
Then again, was it Brett Boone or Adam Jones, former big leaguer, told us about seeing all the new guys, like the rookies that would get all the time on the tables.
Yes.
And they'd walk in and be like, we are in week 1, rookie.
Yeah.
Like,
why are you on the table?
You are.
Yeah. Shields Creek says juices. Bro, they have like refrigerators full of everything you could want.
They're like soda fountains.
Yep.
With nothing but Gatorade.
Correct. And they have in the clubhouse too, there's like, they had this cooler of juices, freshly squeezed, pressed juices that you could go and use, green juice, carrot juice, orange juice, whatever, the best of the best. There's snacks, there's gum, there's seeds, there's everything.
So much gum.
There's so much
You've
gum.
never seen as much gum in your life as in a major league clubhouse.
They have literally everything you could want in there. They want these guys to be comfortable. They want them to be performing at their best. But I thought about that driving yesterday too, Benny. Like, all right, these dudes are home. They're unpacking. They're probably doing some laundry. Like, all right.
Change the windshield wipers.
Yeah, changing the windshield wipers, trying to get ready for the season, man. So, excited.
We're going to get you ready for the season today with it's kind of our MLB preview day.
Yeah.
We didn't do a tour of the baseball camps this year because,
we're not great at it.
It was kind of a slog last year to try to get through every team.
It was.
So instead, we're going to do our annual, let's put our predictions down on record. So at the end of the year, we can find out how bad we were.
Yeah.
And by the way,
how did we do last year? Did we ever figure it out?
We did poorly. We
all
Paulie
did?
went through it, and we got more wrong than right, as usual. But that's actually often true of baseball. We will do our predictions in our 7 o'clock hour of every division and how we think it's going to finish. But I was reading yesterday that on average, 3 teams, about 2.8 teams every year that finished with a losing record the year before go to the playoffs.
Okay.
It's hard to pick those teams.
It is.
Like, which teams did you think that finished with a losing record last year go to the playoffs this year? And, of course, that means they're replacing 3 teams that had good seasons last year that aren't going to go to the playoffs this year. And you're just hoping, of course, that the Padres aren't one of those teams that gets bumped out by the up-and-comers here in the 2025 season.
There's no question, man. There's no question at all. And there's always a 1 or 2 really surprise teams that figure something out. But yeah, this is the very rudimentary beginning of the year. Going to put it down on paper and see how we do at the end of the year. I felt like I did okay last year.
So there were 30 correct picks.
Right.
If you replaced just the division winners, but how they placed in each division.
Placed.
And so 30 possible winners. Woods and I each got 10 right.
Not bad. That's not bad.
Ben got 9.
All right, that's still about
so
average.
if you want to know 1/3 of how Major League Baseball will finish this year, you definitely want to stay tuned to Ben and Woods today, because we can definitely nail them at a 33% clip across the board.
Yeah, I'll give you the total for the
2 out of every 3 predictions wrong, guaranteed by Ben and Woods today.
Yeah, 100%.
But you won't know which ones are wrong and which ones are right. That's the drama. We will also be giving away another pair of Padres tickets. Yesterday it was to opening day. Today it will be to game 2. That will be the first start for Dylan Cease on Friday night against the Atlanta Braves. And since Dylan Cease is on the mound, that will be our sounder for the day. One more time, Paulie.
Dylan Thief.
Okay, the next time you hear Woods try to pronounce Dylan Cease's name, call in at 833-288-0973. The fifth caller again. When you hear that sounder, could be any time between now and 10 o'clock. Could be during a segment. Could be during a commercial break. You got to be listening. You can hear it on the YouTube stream. You can hear it on the app. You can hear it on the radio. But when you hear that again, call in at 833-288-0973. And the fifth caller is going to win a pair of tickets to Friday night's game against the Atlanta Braves. You can get your tickets at padres.com/tickets. We'll talk about the Padres. And now that we have the final decision of the roster came yesterday. I think the 26-man is set. It hasn't been officially announced.
Logan Gillespie?
Well, yeah, Juan Nunez is gone.
Is back,
so that kind of makes it a fait accompli as to who the final man of the 26-man roster is going to be. So we can get into that coming up next. All our regular features as well. Take on Woods. Don't do this. Reindl Report coming up with Ben and Woods. Don't go away on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Wanted to tell you guys first about Eco Water, as I have my big jug next to me. I always do. Eco Water changed our entire lives, man. We have the Eco Water system in our home, and it's really been incredible. When your kids get excited about drinking water, and they can tell the difference, and they say, "I love Eco Water." Like I gave Paulie some, his wife Megan. You can absolutely taste the difference in Eco Water. There's just
more, by the way.
Done. There's just no question. It is truly the best water you can get.
Even the bottles, the aluminum bottles,
incredible.
It's like
tastes different.
It's like you ever take like a Diet Coke or a Coke out of a can. It hits different.
It's different.
And the cases of the water bottles from Eco Water, I need all of it.
And having it in your home is just such a game changer. It comes out of every faucet in the house. Their alkaline filters take hydration to the next level. Check it out. Soft, purified water, total game changer. Also, they're doing this as well, which is brilliant. Clean water deserves clean air. Eco Water SoCal also has state-of-the-art air purification that removes 99.99% of pollutants. So now we've got pure water, fresh air, happy family, all thanks to Eco Water SoCal. Going to be hearing a lot of Eco Water on this radio station. I couldn't stand behind it more. I love them. Get a free in-home water test today. Call 760-350-3338, or very simple to go to ecowatersocal.com. Let them know Woodsy sent you. Your water should be perfect.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
All right, we don't have an official 26-man roster from the Padres yet, but we, I think, have enough in terms of reporting and what we've heard to determine who it's going to be. Yesterday, the Padres offered back Juan Nunez, their Rule 5 draft pick, and he was taken back by the Baltimore Orioles.
Yep.
So he's not on the team.
So let me ask you this. Does he now have to so he was Rule 5 by the Padres. If the Padres wanted to keep him, he would have to be on the big league roster.
Correct. All season long.
All season long.
Yes, like Stephen Kolek was last year. And I mean, you can go on the injured list like you did at the end of the year, but you have to be on for the majority of the year. Otherwise, you have to be offered back for $50,000 to the team that originally had your rights.
So now the Orioles have him back. Does he have to be on their big league roster or no? Okay.
No.
Now they can put him back in the minors.
They can put him back in the minors,
which is where he belongs, honestly.
Yeah,
right?
you know, he's
got some stuff.
He's got some stuff, but a little too untamed, and you probably wasn't going to be able to develop on the big league level. Just needs more minor league time. Might have said that about Stephen Kolek last year. Though. They found a way to kind of hide him at the back of the roster, use him in low leverage situations, and now they have a guy who probably will end up, didn't make the starting rotation to open the season, but will probably make some starts for the San Diego Padres this year. And that's a steal because, you know, he literally stole Stephen Kolek from the Mariners for $100,000, which in baseball, if you can find a starting pitcher that you stole for $100,000, that's bargain basement prices.
Yep.
So, you know, there is some usefulness to that Rule 5 draft, but this year, not going to go that direction. So it looks like Logan Gillespie is going to be the last man on that roster for the San Diego Padres. We saw him last year at times. You know, he's kind of popped up and seemed to impress the coaching staff with what he's able to do in his mix of pitches. I would expect him to be, you know, the low leverage guy to start the season at least. You know, if a starter doesn't make it through the fourth, probably see Logan Gillespie for an inning or two in the middle to get to the rest of your bullpen. But I think the decisions are now made. We know our starting rotation here in San Diego: Michael King, Dylan Cease, Nick Pivetta, Kyle Hart, and Randy Vasquez will be your starting 5. And then in your bullpen, there's Jason Adam, Jeremiah Estrada, Alec Jacob, Yuki Matsui, Adrian Morejon, Wandy Peralta, Robert Suarez, and now Logan Gillespie should make up your 13-man pitching staff. I think I had everyone there.
I think that sounds right, Benny. Your thoughts on the bullpen? Because I think going into spring training, I was a little higher on our bullpen, I think, than I am today, and that's because Sean Reynolds was there. Brian Hoeing was going to be there too. Again, their injuries are not, I don't expect them to be out the entire season or anything like that. I think Reynolds is out of his walking boot right now. He's throwing again at least, but it's going to take some time for those guys to get ramped up. They missed spring training. I feel like you get those two guys back in your bullpen, it's going to look a little bit better. We just you wear it, you wear it at the beginning part of the season as guys try to get back. The guys that are in there today aren't necessarily going to be there. The concerns I have, and again, it's based purely on gut feeling, right? Like just kind of thinking it through. I think Yuki could have a potentially good year, a bounce back year after a year in America under his belt.
I would expect him.
I
to
expect
have
him to as
a
well.
better year than last year.
Wandy Peralta scares me to death. I don't know when you use him. I don't know what, because again, like if you need somebody for high leverage against some, tough lefties at the end of the game, I'm going with Adrian Morejon to start the season, right? Wandy Peralta for me, until he kind of earns his way back into the good graces. Remember how bad he was at the beginning of the year last year. So I'm a little bit concerned about it, but they have so many lefties in their bullpen. They have good power arm righties as well. They also have the change of pace guy with Alec Jacob. I'm pretty confident. I know Suarez I saw his velocity was down.
I saw that too.
But the other thing I was thinking about, it's spring training.
You're not throwing as hard, hopefully, as you can.
Well, it's
spring training every single pitch.
It's not even that. It's the closer thrives on adrenaline, and you're not getting adrenaline pitching the third inning against the split squad Cubs team, in Peoria after 3 weeks. You're not going to reach back and give them your best stuff because you need that kind of juice of the last 3 outs. So not overly concerned about Robert Suarez. I like our setup men a lot. I love Jason Adam. I love Adrian Morejon. I feel really confident about the back of the game right now, knock on wood. Some of those middle innings may get a little dicey, but I think that's probably the case for most teams. I really do. I think most teams are like, middle relief is we'll see. We'll see who emerges, and it takes a while.
Yeah, I wonder where some of the depth will come from. Clearly, Reynolds and Hoeing coming back will alleviate.
Oh, and Estrada. Estrada. I forgot about Estrada. He's great. I didn't.
I'm a little worried that Jeremiah Estrada might take a small step back this year. We'll see.
It would almost like
more tape on him.
It would almost be hard not
seen
to.
Him a little bit more. To me, I agree with you. I think Adrian Morejon and Jason Adam are your primary setup guys, your right and left, and I think Jeremiah Estrada is more of your seventh inning. Hey, there's two guys on
seventh.
There's two guys on in the seventh, and we need to strike out.
Yeah,
and,
he can be the
just
guy.
Go in there. You're facing a batter or two, blow it by him, and your night is done. Sort of pitcher. Now we did see some of the younger guys that we may, the Bradley Rodriguez or Braden Nett, could figure into the bullpen at some point later in the year if they need to kind of dig into some of that depth. But, for the most part, I think it's a strength of the San Diego Padres, the bullpen. But there are question marks, as there is with every bullpen in baseball at this point.
Yeah, 100%. So I'm cautiously optimistic about that. I'm cautiously optimistic about the top of our rotation, and I'm cautiously optimistic about the top of our lineup, which, again, I don't know how rare that it's not unique. I think if you looked around at 28 other teams in baseball, you would, and I think there's even concern in LA. I really do. I think there's concern in LA. Mookie's 157 pounds right now, playing a very demanding position, switching positions to short. Freddie's a little bit older. Shohei, they're going to bring back to the mound. They still have legitimate concerns in LA. I still think they're going to be able to bully their way to 110 wins probably, but every team's got these issues, and we're not unique to worry about the bottom part of our order or the middle part of our or the last part of our rotation and the middle part of our bullpen.
I mean, we'll get into our predictions, but the Dodgers look particularly devastating in their pitching staff right now.
It's the stuff I saw the last 2 days from Glasnow and Dustin May for essentially their fourth and fifth starter.
And their bullpen is
filthy.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, even the names you aren't as familiar with.
Ben Kasparius is nasty. He's nasty as F, dude.
You forget they added Kirby Yates, who had a 113 opposing average against last year.
That dude is straight up unlocked something on the back nine of his career. He's straight up unlocked something. I watched him pitch in spring training last week. Unfair. The splitter, it was unfair what Kirby Yates was throwing up there.
We saw Trinan in the playoffs. I mean, they have a seemingly, endless fountain of nasty arms that they can throw at you. It is going to be very hard to come back from behind against the Dodgers, and you're probably going to be playing from behind against the Dodgers a lot.
Yeah, they're going to be tough.
I mean, they're going to get ahead. They're going to stay ahead, and they're going to win a lot of games this year. I just don't see any other really formula. Every team will struggle offensively from time. Even with stars, there will be pockets where, we're not scoring a lot of runs right now. They will still win a lot of those games because of their pitching.
Yep.
And when they do put runs on the board, they will be virtually unbeatable.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
When they have 6 or 7 runs,
from.
you try to score 6 or 7, against that starting rotation and that bullpen. It's going to be tough.
The stuff Dustin May was flipping up there yesterday was stupid, and he's their 5. So look, we know the injury history in that organization the last few years. That's obviously going to be a concern. How does Dave Roberts manage that? Sure, yeah, we're going to get in our predictions of where we'll be, but just a little preview. Looking through all of the divisions, there was really only one that I said that's a lock. And it's the NL West. And I feel like if you're saying anything other than the Dodgers right now, you're trying to be an edgelord, because I just don't see that thing going.
There's
super
edgelord
south.
and there's clown.
Right.
And I think you're a clown if you try to pick someone other than the Dodgers.
Yeah,
I really do.
And I don't know that they go out and rip through the regular season record this year. I don't know, because of some of the frailty in their starting rotation, and it's frail. There's some frail arms there.
They would actually be wise not to.
Correct.
Almost.
Correct.
When you get to the summer, they should be throwing Landon Knack a few times.
Oh,
and they
absolutely.
should be using some of their developmental players and getting them some big league time, because that'll make them stronger in the long run when they don't. And they will also save some of the bullets for their arms for October. So there's no reason to pursue that. They should be almost punting on some games, and they'll win some of those too, because they're just that deep. But I want to check traffic. That's the pitching side of the Padres. Take a quick look. We talked mostly about the position players battles yesterday, but we can review the final roster decisions again next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Slick roadways we're dealing with this morning thanks to some patchy drizzle. We also got some patchy fog around parts of the county, so you definitely want to factor that in. Leave a little extra time for travel. Take it extra carefully once you're out there. Look at this crash involving several vehicles. Northbound side of the 5 before the Grand Garnet exit. 3 right lanes are blocked. Also getting reports of some debris on the Sorrento Valley Road off-ramp, South 805, and got a stall in the North County, eastbound 78 before San Marcos Boulevard, moving that over to the right shoulder. Spring into action at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Stay in your car while friendly technicians check oil, batteries, lights, tires, and more. Locations and coupons at SoCalOilChange.com. All vehicle types welcome. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Now let's do this. We got a couple minutes here before the top of the hour. Some guesses for tomorrow's lineup for the Padres. And I think the biggest question that I don't know the answer to is, will Mike Schilt go with his right-handed lineup against Chris Sale, or will he go with his opening day lineup because he feels like those guys deserve to start on opening day and, eschew the matchups and just go with what he would think is a normal lineup? Because I do believe that when the Padres face a lefty, generally Fernando Tatis Jr. is going to lead off. We saw that late in spring. He put him in the 1 spot and Arise in the 2 against a lefty. And I think that might be what we see. And then when it's against a righty, it'll be flipped, and it'll be Arise 1 and Tatis 2 when they go up against a right-handed pitcher. Will that be the case tomorrow? I don't know. But if they're going with the righty against lefty lineup, I think it's Tatis 1, Arise 2, Machado 3, and Merrill 4. And then I don't know if Jake Cronenworth, how often he starts against lefties. If Jose Iglesias gets in there,
well, listen, lefty
or not, but
Chris Sale is not your run-of-the-mill lefty.
True.
It's not. He's a guy, and I'm looking at his numbers against the Padres, so I don't want to rain on anybody's parade before tomorrow's game. He's 4-0 with an ERA of 1.29, 30 Ks and 4 appearances against the Padres in his career. Pitched well against San Diego. So if it's me, I'm going with as many righties as I can get in that lineup. But then again, with a guy like Chris Sale, it really doesn't matter. I mean, he throws a changeup away to righties that makes you look like an absolute buffoon. So you take your chances with your best players. But I'm probably going to do Iglesias at second to start, and Croney on the bench, and I'm probably going to do Brandon Lockridge in left and roll from there. I'll have Arise in the lineup, and I'll have Jackson Merrill in the lineup, because those are two of my best hitters, 2 of the best hitters around. So those 2 guys are getting in. My DH is probably going to be Yuli Gurriel as well. And Jay Hay get Get a blow. Crony, get a blow. We'll get you in later in the game against a right-handed reliever.
And I think on a normal day against a right-hander, the start of the season lineup will be Arise, Tatis, Merrill, Machado, Cronenworth, Bogarts, Sheets, and then Hayward and Diaz or Maldonado. Whoever's catching that day will probably be batting ninth either way. So that's kind of your lineup against righties. Lefties, they could make some changes.
I think I do the bit, though, with the catchers that we have. I think my catchers hit 8 all year long, and they don't move. I think I have a Lockridge in the 9 as
that's
like
possible.
a double leadoff type.
It seemed like in the spring we saw the catcher in the 9 a lot. That doesn't mean that Mike Schilt is committed to that. So it could be. I see your point.
I like that double leadoff kind of
when
deal.
You got the speed. Maybe when it's Lockridge, he's 9. When it's
Hayward,
he's 7 or 8, and the catcher goes to 9 because you don't have necessarily that speed component. Not that Jason Hayward's slow. He's an older guy, but he runs okay still. So we'll see what they end up doing. But that's just kind of some speculation on our part as to what that opening day lineup is going to look like tomorrow for the San Diego Padres. We'll know probably around, a little over 24 hours from now when we're at Rick's Baja Cantina. The lineup will probably come out sometime later on our show. So please join us out there. I'll give you all the details when we come back about our appearance tomorrow. We'd love to see a bunch of you out there, tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Stay tuned for more Ben and Woods coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Got a couple different perspectives here, Benny. Our buddy Mike tweets in, it's Schilt. He's camp counselor, old school manager. The lineup will be Arise, Tatis, Merrill, Manny, Jake, Xander, Hayward, Yuli. And Diaz. Wait. Yeah, Yuli and Diaz. It very well, maybe.
Veteran City.
Yeah.
It could be.
It absolutely could be.
It's not necessarily even the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Experienced guys on the first day won't have as many opening day jitters as throwing in a Brandon Lockridge. Let him enjoy his opening day without having to jump in and face Chris Sale in his very first opening day at bat. There's an argument to be made that even if you're giving up something on the righty-lefty matchups, that having your most veteran lineup makes a lot of sense.
But and while I agree with you, Mike, and knowing Schulte a little bit, I do agree with you that. But I also know that guy loves him some righty-lefty splits, man. He really, really does, as I think most managers do. He really does like that. He likes to mix it up like that. He likes it. He likes the righty.
Oh, I think throughout the course of the season, absolutely.
I'm gonna look right here. Here we go.
That's going to be the norm. I just don't know if tomorrow it's going to look that way. Plus, remember, in the first game, you're getting Sale, but he's probably not going 7. You're probably only facing him for 5 innings in the first start. So, you could have your lineup, knowing that, hey, it's probably only going to be 2 times through the order at most against a starter in the first outing, as it will be for Michael King. I don't expect Michael King to go 7 or 8 innings in the first game either. It's, they're not built up. You're going to be getting to the bullpens and having to save some of those guys for matchups later. Anyway, you may have to face lefties later in the game again after they bring in, a righty and then a lefty. So, yeah, it's a different sort of game tomorrow.
Here's what we've got as far as going up against Chris Sale tomorrow. The guys with a little bit of experience against him. Luis Arise is a 222 hitter against Chris Sale. Xander Bogaerts is a 353 hitter against Chris Sale with an OPS of 979.
He's in the lineup for sure.
Yeah, he's in the lineup. Crony is 0 for 8. Jason Hayward is 0 for 2. Manny is hitting 348 off of him with a bomb in 23
So I
ABs.
think Manny will be in the lineup.
Manny will be there. Jackson Merrill 0 for 2 against him. And Fernando Tatis Jr. has a homer off of him, but is only hitting 167.
Pretty sure both of those guys will be in the lineup.
Yep, and against Michael King, really nothing to speak of. De La Cruz is hitting 250 off of him. Austin Riley's hitting 1,000 in 1 AB. So really not a lot of action for Michael King against the Braves. And, yeah, some guys have hit Chris Sale pretty well.
We will find out tomorrow. In fact, if you'd like to join us officially, we will be at Baja Rick's tomorrow morning for our opening day broadcast, 176th Avenue, right across from the Hard Rock as we celebrate opening day. We'll be on the air from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., followed by Braden's show until noon. We'll have deals on Coors Light, Blue Moon, and Topo Chico, plus a special breakfast menu and $10 foot-long TJ Dogs and special Blowfish Tequila Premium Margaritas. Join 97.3 The Fan at Baja Rick's from 6 a.m. to noon tomorrow for opening day.
Can't wait, man.
I'm looking forward to it. Some news yesterday, and I wouldn't say that this is totally new, but Dennis Lin wrote in The Athletic about a couple of years ago, the Padres actually approached Jackson Merrill with a long-term contract proposal. He was still in single A at the time, high A ball, when the Padres thought, hey, let's do one of those deals before he even makes his major league debut.
When you know, you know.
How high did Jackson Churio get? Was he AAA? Because he did the same thing, right?
I think he was in Double or AAA when he hadn't made his major league debut
before. Yeah.
People lost their minds too, and he turned out to be a really good player.
So far, so good.
Bargain for them.
Yeah. And now after 1 year, clearly the Padres could have gotten a great deal if they had done that a couple of years ago, and they wanted to. And Jackson Merrill apparently wasn't interested. He bet on himself to make the big leagues and wait and see how it played out before short selling himself a bit in the minor leagues, which was his right. Now after his rookie season, if he has another good year, he's going to be much more expensive. But I think it does indicate the Padres' excitement and willingness to hopefully make him part of the core as well. Kind of the next wave of core players that's going to be in a Padres uniform for a long time. I certainly hope that they are able to get it done. I don't expect anything imminently, especially with the Padres already, as we said, over the second luxury tax level right now. If you signed him right now and, it kicked in this season, all of a sudden you'd have a huge number attached to Jackson Merrill, when right now he's got the minimum number attached to him. So, financially, you'd be paying way more if you did it now. Maybe after some money comes off the books, it makes more sense to do it maybe next offseason and approach Jackson again about a contract extension. Remember, the Padres still control him for 5 more years, including this coming season. So you're not in any imminent danger of losing Jackson Merrill, but he could be getting more expensive by the month if he continues to perform the way he has.
Well, he certainly says all the right things. He plays the game the right way, plays the game in a manner, Ben, that you want to build your team around. A guy that you look at and say, all right, this will absolutely gut us if we let him go. And, they asked him in the article, so not signing that extension was the right choice. But he said, his quote was, I'd say so myself, yeah, but I'd still rather just be here right now and forever, which I love to hear from Jackson Merrill. This is a great place to live. It's a great place to play baseball. No question about it. And he is a perfect fit for this franchise. And you absolutely let yourself get carried away with the visions of Jackson Merrill being here the rest of his career and winning a title in this city. He is that kind of guy that you want to build around. He also said this. I love this. God, I love this. He said, it'll be a good challenge to have some recognition going into the year. It's good for me to go in there and be like, hey, screw the recognition. Screw what everybody thinks. I don't care if they think I'm good. I want to prove that I'm better than I was last year. Not resting on his laurels by any stretch, Benny, wanting to be better than last year. So, yeah, man, you find a way to get this done in the next couple of years, and you don't worry about it.
Now, we talked to Eric Grupner, the CEO, yesterday, and, talked about some of the changes at Petco Park. And, the new Padres store, one of those places where you're selling the jerseys. And the trend is right now, the Tatis and Machado jerseys have been the best sellers.
Yep.
But the Jackson Merrill jersey is trending the highest and could end up being a top 20 seller across Major League Baseball within the next year. Jackson Merrill is becoming an extremely popular player, especially with the younger set of baseball fans. He seems to resonate with younger fans, and that's something I think the Padres absolutely need going forward. They have Tatis. If they could have Tatis and Merrill, together for the next decade, that's powerful. That's a draw. And, Grupner said to us and to the UT, if they want to keep putting, big payrolls on the field, they need the fans to keep supporting the Padres the way they have with tickets and jerseys. And those are two guys that are going to move the needle, I think, for a decade. And knowing that they're there makes you want to be loyal to the Padres. If they're loyal to their players, fans are more likely to be loyal to the team. That's a simple equation in sports. Fans get attached to players. They don't like to see a revolving door of guys leaving every year. Look at the Rays. They win, but they don't have any player attachments, so the attendance is, minimal. Yep. But player attachments are the key. Winning plus player attachments is the golden combination in professional sports.
It was the most requested number in Little League this year, at least around our Little League. Everybody wanted to wear Jackson Merrill's number 3. So, the year before it was Tatis, the year, Manny before that, and now it's Jackson Merrill. So doesn't surprise me. My kids absolutely adore him. I adore him. My wife adores him. Our entire family adores him. He is one of those guys, Ben, you point to and you tell your kid do that.
Hi, this is Jackson Merrill.
Hi, Jackson. Stay forever, buddy.
Now you're going to have to sell a lot of jerseys to pay for what that contract is going to look like, because it's going to be 9 numbers, and it's not going to start with a 1 either, I don't think. At this point, to sign Jackson Merrill to a long-term deal.
They've been able to get creative with some of the long-term deals that they've signed, like Fernando Tatis Jr.'s, and as somebody said in the chat, you get creative with him and get him that Fernando Tatis deal. And now you've got 2 guys, cornerstones of your outfield. You could see Jackson Merrill. You could see him going into the stratosphere, just like you can with Fernando Tatis. There's so much potential for those 2 guys to be as nasty as they want to be.
Yeah,
it's Fernando Tatis Jr.
When you look at Jackson Merrill's game, we had so many question marks going into last year, and now, what's your remaining question mark for Jackson Merrill?
Can he do it again?
On base percent? Yeah.
Can he do it again?
Durability, sustainability, I guess. But
durable player.
We've seen the power stroke already develop. We thought that might take years.
Yep.
Didn't. It started in the first year. And if spring training is any indication, probably going to take a step up from the 20, what did he finish? 24 home runs last year. Probably, would take a step up from that this year. So he's already a power hitting, average hitting, top defender in the outfield. What else is left?
Yep.
He's got some speed. I mean, on base percentage, he was actually mad that he didn't walk at all during spring training. He was like, one of my goals was to, draw some walks and get on base that way. And I didn't actually walk once. Now he said, I got a lot of pitches to hit, and what am I going to do? It's
you want
he said he had some good at bats, fouled some pitches off, had some deep at bats, but he was actually frustrated that during the spring, whatever you got, 40 at bats, didn't walk in any one of them. So I guess that's one area where you might want to see him improve a little bit. But every player has areas to improve, especially a guy who's 21 years old.
Yeah,
you think there's going to be. There's not though. There's not that many areas that he even needs to improve at this point.
I mean, I know he said he wanted to work on his defense. We asked him, what do you want to work on? He said, I want to get better jumps. I want to get better reads off the walls, things like that. But yeah, man, I think this guy has the potential to get MVP votes, in the next 5 years for sure. Absolutely. I just, again, we're talking about ceilings a lot in baseball. I don't think he's close to his, and that's exciting. That's really exciting. If you need a reason to be excited about going to the ballpark, we've got a few of them, but he's one of them. And I mean, Xander, they're talking about the Rookie of the Year, and he said, no, listen, I don't hate the award or anything. He goes, I have a little chip on my shoulder about it. Certainly, when you think you're the best. And Xander came out in his defense and said, yeah, dude, the guy plays every single day, helped us get to the playoffs. That's your Rookie of the Year. We said it. We beat the drum like a mantra. I love Paul Skeens. I love Paul Skeens. He's an electric pitcher. But this cat played every single day in a new position and was phenomenal. And the clutch hits. Oh my God. I mean, he was elite. He absolutely should have won that.
I agree. This hour on Ben and Woods brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store and everything for your business. And right now at Staples, save up to $250 off your print order. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details. Ends April 5th, plus save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples. All right, we have Don't Do This coming up next. And in particular for Do This today, some nice moments around baseball.
Unreal.
As young players found out they were making the team for the first time, and some really nice viral videos that went along with it. We can talk about that coming up next with Ben and Woods after a check of traffic with Kelly Danick on 97.3 The Fan. First, though, I'll tell you about sdfatloss.com. Was talking to one of my colleagues yesterday at work as I was in early, and I hadn't seen her in a long time. And she said, wow, Mr. Skinny there.
Who was that?
Vanessa Paz.
Oh, my beloved.
Our morning weathercaster.
Yes.
She said, wow, you look great. I said, yeah. She said, how did you do it? I said, sdfatloss.com. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. I kept the weight off, closing in on 2 years now. I started the program in 2023 around May or June, and I've kept the weight off. Got on the scale again this morning, like my morning routine, down about 46 pounds from where I started. So it is going strong. You can follow the program as well. It's based on real foods, not shakes or bars or mixes. There's no injections. It's sustainable. You change the way you eat, and then you keep going, and it is much easier to keep the weight off. They'll tell you how it works when you set up your free consultation at sdfatloss.com. Go to the website, set it up, and when you take advantage now and start the program, you're going to get $200 off during their spring special. It would be just in time for the summer season, bathing suits, T-shirts, and shorts coming up around the corner. So don't wait. Do it today. Go to sdfatloss.com. Set up that free consultation at sdfatloss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I'm doing it. I have to do it.
Don't do this.
I have to do it.
You have to do it?
Now you know why my wife says it to me.
I see that.
Don't do this.
I get it. Well, DDT brought to you by Trust and Will. Don't leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die. Do set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com. This is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com. If you're going to do it, just get it out of the way. Because you know he's listening.
Don't do this.
I know he's listening.
He's listening right now. And he's...
You think he's going to be mad?
Yes, of course. That's why.
You do think he's going to be mad?
Well, he's not going to be happy that you brought it up.
I guess I won't do it.
Like, now you have to.
Well, I can't now.
It's fine.
You do it.
You want me to do it? I told you I was okay with it. I said if it was you, it probably would have been more of a problem.
But I'm still nervous though.
You're nervous about it. So maybe I shouldn't have told you.
You shouldn't have told me.
Yeah.
You got to know better.
That was the mistake. You're getting
the DDT. Ben got a text from the boss and says, I need to see you after the show.
Can you stop by my office today?
Which
That's all
is
it said.
Bring your
Fine.
playbook.
Yeah, bring your playbook.
He didn't say that.
No, here's the thing. Hey, do you think you can do the show without Woods? That's all I'm thinking about right now is, hey, you're really good.
We like the Ben Higgins show.
Yeah. What do you think about just Ben and Paul? So now it's 7:20. We got 2 hours and 40 minutes to sit here and rot and think, what could it be? Now he could walk. You could walk in there and he goes, "I got you those tickets you asked for, right, or whatever." Like I have no idea what.
I don't remember asking for anything, but maybe. Surprise! Your bonus is in. I don't know. I'm not expecting good news. I don't know.
My heart is racing. It's pounding.
Does everyone feel that way when the boss sends them
yes.
a text? Hey, can I see you? in my office. I mean, I guess everyone kind of
Everybody on the planet has gotten that text at one
feeling.
point. Hey, stop by and see me before you leave today. So I'm a wreck. Ben says he goes, I'm fine with it. And I said, well, I'm not. I'm nervous.
Caitlin in the chat says, hey, no.
No, bigger boss.
The big boss.
Bigger boss. Did you do something?
What'd you do, man?
What did you do? Did you tweet something?
I don't think
Did you
so.
dox anybody?
Did you dox someone?
No, I did not.
Is he going to ask you to rat me out for doxing people?
Probably. I don't know.
What if it is, Paulie? If he goes, hey, Woods has run his course here. You think you can do it by yourself? I know you have a lot on your plate, but you think you can handle it? That's all I'll be thinking about for the next 2.5 hours. Yeah. Oh, by the way, he would do it in a heartbeat.
Huzzah!
In one heartbeat, you go, yeah, I got it. I'll handle it. Wouldn't you?
I'm a team player.
But you would do that.
Team player.
Oh, God.
Team 97.3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, not Team Woods. Team Ben and Woods. Great.
Dub Jason. Probably something to do with our anniversary. Yeah, it's
No,
got an anniversary
the anniversary
present
gift for us.
Yeah, I'm sure. Are you going to
All right. I'm going to tell you this right now.
Are you going to go during the break or something? You're going to literally just sit there
No,
for
see him
2.5
after the show.
hours?
Are you kidding me? How do you do this? 2.5 hours of sitting here rotting.
Not
Are you
right.
nervous?
No. Fine.
Must be nice to live a life where you're never nervous about anything because you never do anything wrong.
No emotion.
Zero emotion. I'll tell you this right now. If he fires you, I'm out.
No, I wouldn't want you to do
But
that.
I'm out. I'm not. that's what
No,
I'm
don't
doing.
do that.
No, I don't want to do this by myself. I don't know anything about the Mountain West coaching carousel. What am I going to do? So, Paulie, did you hear the new jelly
Richard
roll?
Pitino going to Xavier. Come on, that's the big news yesterday. Donovan Dent into the portal with True Washington. I mean, the Aztecs aren't the only one, Woods, losing top players.
God. I was having such a good show. I was feeling so positive about everything. Here we go. All right. Well, now I'm nervous and the whole audience is nervous. That's my don't do this. For you, don't ever tell me those. Ever. Never tell me that.
I will refrain from telling you next
It's not
time.
his fault. It's your fault.
Apparently.
I think you need to go during the next commercial break.
If not, I'm going to have a terrible
Everybody
show.
needs. We all need
Everybody
the
needs
update
to know.
now.
I mean, if you insist. I mean, if he wants to come by, maybe we can just do it on the air.
I'll put him on.
This is a story we haven't gotten to this week. Just, I don't know if there's a don't do this in here. It's just impossibly sad. And you probably saw the headlines about it. Former New York Yankees outfielder Brett Gardner losing his 14-year-old son on vacation. They went on vacation to Costa Rica. And according to the family, the Gardner family, their 14-year-old son, Miller, and other members of the family fell ill. They weren't sure why. And Miller, the 14-year-old, otherwise had been healthy, passed away from whatever he contracted, whether it was, they're suspecting some sort of food poisoning, possibly, if it's multiple people, I guess that would make sense, but no specific details yet in terms of what it could be. They had gone to eat at a restaurant. They think the food may have made them sick. Everyone's dealt with food poisoning. I guess you hear stories when they can be really bad and potentially fatal, but you don't think about that with a 14-year-old. Just so sad. Baseball player, football player in South Carolina. Wore his dad's number on his football team, number 11. I love
Brett Gardner too, man. Love that guy.
Father of boys, we're that age not that long ago. It's just such a heartbreaking story for Brett Gardner.
Yeah. Kind of hard to switch gears here to a really positive baseball story, but we will do that.
Sorry, what was the don't do this there?
I don't know. The restaurant that served them.
Yeah, the restaurant that served them
food or something.
I'm just asking the questions.
Again, like I said, I wasn't sure the exact don't do this in the story. It's just a horrible story.
It's awful. We sometimes do that and don't do this.
It is.
We're flexible.
Yeah, we have to bounce around a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, now for
positive.
Do this.
DD mega doo-doo.
The Padres didn't do any of these social viral videos. So
would have.
Brandon Lockridge could have gotten some
Still time.
Mike Schilt. I mean, they could release it. Maybe they have it, waiting for us. But
guess what, Brandon?
Other teams
never saw Jackson's.
No. Yeah. Other teams though have taken advantage of a nice moment, including the Houston Astros yesterday, who promoted one of their top prospects, Cam Smith, who they acquired in the Kyle Tucker trade. It actually only, when he was with the Cubs minor leagues, it only played, like 22 games in his career in the minor leagues, but impressed enough in spring training that they decided to put him on the team, and they decided to let him know in a team meeting. They'd all gathered together. He's kind of in the back, and we got the video and audio here for you of manager Joe Espada, who had secretly brought his mom in. He didn't know this, but this is what the manager Joe Espada had to say.
Well, my dream was one day I became a major league manager. I wanted to make this special for someone, and I'm about to do that. I always said, like, if someone tells me, Joe, you're going to the big leagues, who will be the first person you will call? Who will be the first person you will call? I say my mom, my dad, my family, right? Because I think you want to share with someone who's been there for you from day one. Little league, travel ball, good days, bad days. So we're about to do that right now. So I'm going to make a phone call to someone, and that someone's going to come out here. It's got a special announcement to do, okay?
So it's kind of, he had his back turned. It was kind of hard to hear, but he's saying if he got the call to the big leagues, of course, the first call is to the family. So I'm going to make that family call for somebody in this room
here. Yep.
And we'll see what happens.
Let's see if I can find this number. Hello? Are you here?
And so now his mom walks out, and he's sitting in the back, and his hands going to his face, and he just absolutely starts bawling.
Mom walks into the clubhouse
in front of everybody. I mean, he is just weeping.
I watched it last night.
Big hug with his mom, and he knows I just made the big leagues, and my mom is here to share the moment with me in front of all the team. It's almost awkward that everyone's silent right now. Like, there's no cheering. Someone break the tension.
They eventually do. There it is. It's actually a really good applause drop. Keep that. That's a really good applause drop. We'll use that forever. I was laying in bed last night, Benny. Now my kids are still in Colorado, and I'm missing them horribly. And I laid there last night. I watched that video, and dude, I'm like blowing, watching that thing when he hugs his mom, and his mom looks at him and says, "You're going to the majors," and he is just overcome with emotion. 22 years old, hit 342 with 4 home runs. The only reason he had a shot, Kyle Tucker, was moved to the Cubs, and now he's going to take Kyle Tucker's spot. They are really high on this kid and earned his way in, man. And so happy for him, dude. And it's just those moments are that's everything. That's the best part of sports right there. Things like that.
And while he had just a little bit of minor league experience, one guy with the Angels, Ryan Johnson, who was their second-round pick last year, he made the team yesterday. He didn't play a single
not one inning
day in the minors, not one inning in the minors, and was drafted in the second round last year. Now he's 22, so he was an advanced prospect when he was drafted out of Dallas Baptist, but he's coming straight to the big leagues without a day in the minors. First since Garrett Crochet did it actually during the COVID year in 2020, but it's pretty rare. He's only the third player since 2001. Mike Leake, Ballbrook's Mike Leake, if I'm not mistaken, did it in 2010 as well. So some nice stories coming out of the younger players here at the end of camp.
Yep, it's so cool. It's so cool. There was a Yankees one too. I think he's a catcher that made the roster. And Boone called him in and did the whole bit of like, hey, man, he kind of sat back and he's like, look, you've done everything we've asked of you. But as you know, we got a lot of catching depth. And he's like, yes, sir. And he's like, I'm just messing with you. You made the big leagues. I'm like, you son of a bitch. I would have gone across the table at him. And then it shows him calling his mom on speaker.
I'm going to catch you on somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm going to catch you on somewhere else. And every time I catch against you, he was sitting there. He called his mom, and they're speaking Spanish. And he talks about he just met with Boone, and his mom's like, "Really?" And he said, "Yeah, I made the team." And you just hear her screaming in the background. I'm sitting there weeping about that as well. So keep these things coming, man. I love these.
And that's Don't and Do This for a Wednesday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready, Woods? When we come back, we'll go on the record, make our division picks 1 through 5. Go through the AL and the NL on the eve of opening day for Major League Baseball 2025. That's coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
First, Woods and I want to tell you about our place to play cards and a great place for high limit action. That is 7 Mile Casino in Chula Vista. Very convenient. It's right off the 5. 7 minutes south of downtown. You just get off, stay on Bay Boulevard, which is on the west side of the freeway. You're pulling right in, and if you're a high-limit player, they want to take care of you. They've got good action at their Texas Hold'em tables, at the California-style blackjack tables, friendly dealers, comfortable seats. They know how to take care of their high-limit players.
You're rattled now. I knew it. I knew you would be rattled now. I called it. No, listen, 7 Mile Casino, a phenomenal place. We obviously love the proximity, just 7 minutes from our beloved Petco Park. Great place to pregame. Great place to post game, whatever. It's a great place to go for lunch, sit down, play some California-style blackjack in a smoke-free environment. And again, cannot beat the location, cannot beat the people. They are phenomenal. Check it out for yourself. 7 Mile Casino is just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
So did Woods?
I'm nervous.
Did
he walked
go
down
to
towards
Michael's
our boss's
office?
Yeah.
Did you see him walking down there? I thought he went to the restroom, and now he's not back. He didn't get called into the office. That was me. And I said, I'm just happy waiting until the end of the show. He literally could not. He needed to find out why I was called into the office.
He went to the little boys' room,
Where
and
did
I
you
saw him
go?
walk down the hall.
Why did you go? You weren't invited.
Oh, my God.
It wasn't about you. This is an A and B conversation. We'll see you later.
Actually, we'll see you later.
I know.
Oh,
okay.
No, we'll see you later. This is it. Enjoy it. 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Great.
Broadcast your ass off, pal.
I'm going to try to save my job.
This is it.
The rest of the program. Maybe it comes down to how good my MLB picks are.
It could be. It could be. No, I popped in. I go, did you hear that? He goes, no. I go, ah!
I just can't believe they're doing that to Ben 9 months before Christmas.
I know.
Can you imagine if you actually had to be accurate with your sports predictions to keep your sports talk
I would have made it
radio
15
jobs?
minutes, dude.
No one would have made.
Nobody.
Everyone would have been fired, like immediately on their first day.
Yeah,
it's just fun. It's fun.
What a dumb job when you think about it. You just
really is.
We're just gonna guess. We're just gonna guess. Semi-educated guess, but not really. Not really. There's no way to know.
I mean, you think that we're fairly educated on baseball, right?
Fairly.
We spend a lot of time talking about it, reading
watching
about
it, just consuming
we actually
it.
get to talk to players and coaches and general managers, get their insight. We should be more knowledgeable than most,
right,
about this sport.
It's hard because sometimes knowledge about baseball, you can think all you want that you know something, and it just proves you wrong so much. It's what makes it such a beautiful, beautiful sport. Jesse says it all the time. How many times on a broadcast do you hear Jesse Agler say, I've called 1 million baseball games. I thought I'd seen it all. I've never seen that, right? It happens all the freaking time. Which
is amazing considering, hey, nothing changes. The lines, the bases, the distance, the mound. How can there always be so many unusual situations that pop up? But they do.
Yeah,
they do.
It's wild. It's what makes it the best. And, again, 2023 is such a good example, Ben. If some Dodger fan that year would have said, Woodsy, I'll bet you your house that the Padres missed the playoffs, I would have said, here's the deed. Let's go. I will take that bet and then some. And I would have been without a home, truly, because when you think you know something, baseball is the game that probably slaps you in the face more than anything. Golf is another one like that, kind of slaps you in the face, But at least
I feel like I almost feel like I can at least see some trends, though. Like, okay, this player's playing well. He's going to probably keep playing well, and eventually you can lose it in golf and mysteriously, but. I don't know. Baseball is wild that way. All right. Well, we will take the attempt anyway at making our divisional predictions here for the AL and the NL, and we'll do that.
Do we have some royalty-free music, Paulie, that
possibly?
We can play
Why don't we do
it?
traffic, and then we'll come out and we'll start with the American League, probably with maybe the toughest division of all.
100%.
The American League East to predict coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Crystal Geyser, Alpine Spring. Just a couple things to mention here, guys. Westbound 905 at the northbound 5 connector. 2-car collision over to the right shoulder, and an accident clearing on the coastline. Southbound 5 before Manchester. That's being moved into the center divide. Also, don't forget some wet roadways we've got in a good part of the county, all thanks to some patchy drizzle, even light rain. You might still see some of that patchy fog out there as well. So leave extra time for travel. Be extra alert once you're out there. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we will begin our division by division predictions with the American League East.
I like that.
How's that?
A jazzy taking out to the ball game.
So good.
Okay. Last year, New York Yankees won the AL.
It's Root
for the Padres.
It's just like that guy.
They lose.
Like, this is right up his alley.
The Yankees won the division with 94 wins, 3 games ahead of the Baltimore Orioles, who nabbed one of the wild card spots in the American League. Red Sox finished at 500. Tampa Bay Rays 80 and 82, and the Blue Jays were in last at 74 and 88. Of course, there has been a lot of movement in that division. Juan Soto leaves the Yankees, Garrett Crochet to the Red Sox, among other moves. Corbin Burns leaves the Orioles. What do you think, Woods, is going to happen in the American League East?
I've got at the top, I've got Boston winning the AL East. Garrett Crochet is one of the nastiest dudes in baseball, getting Alex Bregman. They have 3 brilliant prospects that can come up pretty much at any time to help contribute as well. They are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the AL East. I do believe they've had some down years, man. They haven't had a winning season since 2021. That doesn't fly in Beantown. I actually think they're going to run away with the division. As hard as it was to pick the order, I think they're going to run away with it.
I think that's too much to ask, going from 81 wins to running away and winning the division. If the Baltimore Orioles had just spent a little bit more, I think this would have been an easy call. Even losing Corbin Burns, so much young talent rising and coming together on that team. I'm going to pick the Baltimore Orioles to win.
That's a bold prediction.
The American League East.
I feel like that's very bold.
I think that they can stay ahead of the surging Red Sox. The Yankees will take a bit of a step back this year, not only losing Juan Soto, but already dealing with pitching injuries at the start of the season. And probably too much to overcome. They'll be fighting just to, stay in the wild card race. So I've got the Orioles winning the American League East. Paulie?
I'm going with Boston for a lot of the same reasons Woods just mentioned. It was the number one factor for me was what you were saying about it doesn't fly in Beantown, this many down years. Yep. And they just have those years like 2013, 2018, where they just kind of pop out of nowhere.
Yep.
And they go on to win the whole damn thing.
They look good, man.
And so I think this is just, it's got, with the lack of parity, or no, I guess it would be parity in the American League. Nobody really running away with it. I actually think that the Red Sox are going to go on a deep run.
I do too. I really that team is really solid. I really like what they have. And then let's round it out with the rest. Go ahead.
I will then take the Red Sox to finish second, the Yankees in third. I'll take the Jays to jump up back into fourth place this year. And while the Rays usually find a way to find at least a winning record or close to a winning record, a lot of things working against them, including playing in a spring training ballpark all year. I'll take the Rays to finish in fifth place this year.
All right, I've got Baltimore in second place, the Yankees in third, Toronto in fourth, Tampa Bay in fifth.
I have the exact same.
All right. Paulie and Woods agree, but I've got Baltimore on top of that division. All right,
so Tampa Bay will win the AL East.
Yeah, because we all agree that they'll be at the bottom.
Guaranteed.
All right, let's go to the American League Central, where last year the Cleveland Guardians, one of the surprises in baseball, 92 wins, won that division by 6.5 games over both the Royals and Tigers, who both earned wild card spots with 86 and 76 records. The Twins at 82 and 80 finished fourth, and the White Sox, their historically bad 41 and 121 season. I can tell you for one thing, I'm pretty sure the White Sox will finish last again.
Yep, I worked actually backwards in this division.
They were 41 games out of fourth place. That's going to be hard to overcome. So can we all agree the White Sox in last?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. We've
all got Chicago.
That's one of the easier picks in baseball. But at the top of the division, I think this one is tough. You want me to go first?
Sure.
I don't know if it was for real at the end of the season, but the team playing best at the end of the year was the Detroit Tigers. And I'll say they carry that momentum over, and in a probably fairly mediocre division where 87 wins probably does it. I'm going to take the Tigers to win the American League Central this year.
Yeah, it could be chalk here. I also have the Tigers. Tarek Skubal is the best pitcher in the game, arguably. They got Jack Flaherty back. They got Gleyber Torres to help with a little bit of the offense. They got Riley Green, who's nasty. They are, and I'll tell you, man, watching A.J. Hinch manage in the postseason last year, I do have a newfound respect for what that guy was able to do. Great manager, great ball club, very, very solid. I'm taking them to win the Central as well.
Paulie?
I'm going to switch it up just a little bit for some parity. I do have the Tigers finishing second. I'm going to go with the Royals in first place, and then followed by the Tigers. Look, I don't think it's going to be a great division. I do think whoever gets in probably going to get bounced early, and I don't see any wild card teams really popping out of there, but you never know. I will go with the Royals, the Tigers. I got the Twins in third, the Guardians in fourth, and the White Sox finishing last.
All right, I'll take the Twins in second. They'll probably end up with too many injuries, but I'll give them a chance to finish second. I'll go with the Royals in third. Guardians drop to fourth.
Their starting pitching is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Pretty brutal. I went with the Royals in second. I went with the Guardians in third, the Twins in fourth, and the White Sox in fifth.
All right, let's go over to the American League West now. Last season,
this one was tough too.
The Houston Astros held on and beat the Seattle Mariners. 88 wins for the Astros, 85 for the Mariners, and then three teams with losing records: the Rangers at 78 and 84, the A's at 69 and 93, and the Angels finished last at 63 and 99. Paul, you want to go first on this one?
Yeah, very tough division to kind of guess and handicap, but I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers, bit of a bounce back season, see if Bochy can work some of his magic with them. I think the Astros have dropped off. I think the Mariners are good. They're great pitching. I just don't know that they're going to ever really get over the hump of, 84 to 86 wins, but I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers.
I actually went. This is my boldest pick. I went with the Seattle Mariners. I'm gonna ride on that ridiculous rotation. Right now, they do need to hit enough to win. Texas is going to be formidable for sure. Everyone's talking about Jacob deGrom, and he's back and he's throwing 96. Guys, I mean, how many times do we need to see it from Jacob deGrom? He's one of the best pitchers I've ever seen in my life. He won't see June. That's my gut is he won't see June. They still have Eovaldi. They've got good players. Corey Seager. Bro,
shame on you.
Fool me 65 times with the promise of Jacob deGrom. I want to believe in it so badly.
I get what you're saying, and I like your Mariners pick, but I think it goes beyond just Jacob deGrom. They got the young pitchers, Leiter and Rocker, who both
Eovaldi
are in their rotation. And I told you at the beginning of the show, usually three teams every year go from losing records to winning records and making the playoffs. So I'm going to make the Texas Rangers at least one of those, and I'm going to agree with Paulie. I say the Rangers win the division, little every other year Bochy magic, and I'm going to take the Mariners to finish in second place. The Astros are finally going to fall hard to third, and while I was really wanting to pick the A's to move up a little bit, I just don't think so. Playing in Sacramento is going to be a grind, I think, for the summer, and it's going to wear on them, and they'll look good for a couple months, and then they'll start falling as the summer heat hits them, and I'll take the Angels fourth and the Athletics to finish fifth this year.
I've got Seattle on the top, Texas in second, Houston third, Athletics in fourth, and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, California to finish fifth.
I mean, as bad as the A's kind of are, really top to bottom and everything they have going against them, the Angels might be worse.
They might be. Well, I think they are worse. The A's are actually a pretty fun, exciting team. Lawrence Butler. Yeah. They've got good. Love Kotze. I hope they can.
It's a lot
make some noise.
Things that they can't control.
Correct.
Going up against them.
Exactly.
I'm rolling with the Rangers. I've got the Astros in second, the Mariners in third, Angels, and then the A's.
All right. The NL East is a mother. It is a mother.
All right. This was extremely easy for me to pick.
Last year in the NL East, does everyone remember who won the division last year?
Last year, was the Phillies.
It was the Phillies with 95 wins. The Braves, injury riddled, finished with 89 wins, as did the Mets, who, of course, went on to the National League Championship Series, but they finished tied for second in the wild card spot. And then big drop to 71-win Nationals and the 62 and 100 Miami Marlins. All right, Woods, you want to start?
Yeah, I went with the Braves, man. I think the Braves have the potential to be the best team in the NL this year. If they're healthy and when they get fully healthy, look, they're my pick to give the Dodgers a run for their money. As Matt Olson, I think, is going to have a big year. Spencer Strider coming back. Acuna, they're nasty, dude. They're straight up nasty. Chris Sale, they're nasty. So I got them at the top of the East.
I think they had their injury woes last year. This is a year where they have some relative health, and I agree with you. If they stay at all healthy, they should be the class of the division. I will also pick the Braves to win the National League East. Paulie?
Make it 3.
All right. Clean sweep for the Braves. Now, I think the second and third place teams, that's a little trickier here, Woods.
I went with the Phillies in second, and they still have Wheeler. They still have who else? Nola. They've got good pitching. They've got a good bullpen. They still have stars on their team. I think the Phillies will have a good year. I think I have them in second. I've got the Mets in third. I got the Nats in fourth. On the rise, by the way, the Washington Nationals, and I've got the Marlins in fifth.
I will say the Mets finish second and the Phillies finish third as they start showing a little bit of their age this year. I think it's going to come down to the Phillies, the Padres, and the Diamondbacks for the last playoff spots in the National League.
Got to win those games, man.
Those are going to be critical, and it could be 2 of those 3 are in. 1 is out at the end of the year. So those games are going to be extremely important. I will have the Nats and then the Marlins.
All right, we got to rip through.
We're not going to make it by the end
we
of the
won't
hour,
make it.
So
Okay.
let's just go at our own pace. Let Paulie pick his NL East or rest of the
I'm
division.
the same as Benny. I got the Braves, Mets, Phillies, and then Nationals. Marlins.
I don't believe in the Mets pitching right now, which is why I put the Phillies ahead of them. They did add Juan Soto, who's a really good player. He does play with Francisco Lindor, really good player. Pete Alonso is back. They're going to be a tough team to beat. I just don't know if they have the starting pitching to get through it.
Yeah, they definitely have the weakest of the 3 in that division pitching wise. So that's a good point for you. All right, let's take a timeout. We can come back at the top of the hour. So at some point, we'll get to our NL Central and NL West picks in the 8 o'clock hour, probably in our next segment. But I do think we're all trying to get something special locked in as well. I don't want to tease too much, but we will get to the rest of our picks.
Oh,
we've got
you're firing live on the air?
You went to the office. You haven't told me anything.
I told you you're getting fired.
That would be epic to have that done on the air.
On the air.
It would be.
That's how I want to go. I'm not kidding.
On the air.
Here's your
100%.
paperwork.
I've given pieces of my soul on this radio show. If you're going to do it live for my audience.
Sign on this line. Here's your severance package.
Yeah. Do it live on the air if you're going to do it. I think that would be great radio.
Do the show, bitch.
Don't you?
I don't feel like it would be as great radio as maybe you think it would
if
be.
I was listening,
you'd never turn the channel.
I would not be turning
Coming
on.
up next, Woodsy gets fired live on the air.
On the Fan.
right, we're halfway home on a Wednesday. That's right. It's a Tuesday for me because I was out Monday.
Good point.
So thank you very much. It's opening day eve is really what it is today, and just grinding through this to get to tomorrow. Cannot wait to get it all rolling. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie. Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. We are right in the middle of cranking out our picks for who's going to finish where in Major League Baseball. We've had some interesting combos about it.
We have, and we're going to continue those in a second. But I want to do something first because I know a lot of people have been wondering. And we actually have one of our tier ones on the line. We had a question for him, so we asked him to call in. Rod, are you there? Tier one Rod?
I'm here.
Rod, thanks for calling in. We have an important question to ask you. We appreciate you being in the chat. You're a member in our YouTube stream. And the question we have for you is, what are you doing on April, what is it, 13th? 13th.
Oh, man, I have an appointment with a toe doctor. I was going to recommend him to you, Ben, when I was done with him, but I could cancel that.
Yeah,
cancel it.
You should probably cancel it because I got some good news, Rod. You're the biggest fan.
You're the biggest fan, buddy.
Yeah. We had the drawing, and you qualified, and you were selected, and you have won. You have won the night in the Odyssey Suite for the Padres game on April 13th. Congratulations, Rod.
Oh, man, thank you, guys. Love the show. Love the chat fam on there. And chat fam, you guys already know I'm inviting the tier ones. I'm inviting the Brandon's people, the Gwen and Chris people, the Scrabenators. Come on, let's do it.
I love it, man.
Very inclusive.
Really are the biggest fan.
13th
Yeah, you're literally the biggest fan.
Is a Sunday. Yeah, we should try to stop by
100%.
and say hi to Rod and the gang. So everyone be really nice to Rod because he's only got 19 more tickets to
kiss
to
his
distribute.
ass
So
right
everyone
now.
has to be
Start the bidding high, Rod.
So nice to Rod in the chat.
Right on. Thank you, guys.
Congrats, buddy. Proud of you.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, fellas.
Thank you.
I'm sorry to everybody else who spent hours listening for their name to be called. Some of you actually did qualify and called back within 10 minutes, but only one person could be the biggest fan in the end. And it was Rod.
The date is April 13th.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep.
Excellent. Who they play that day?
That is Padres schedule. Oh.
Hi. Clapping for the biggest fan. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was very excited.
Well, that's the Colorado
Fluke,
Rockies.
everybody.
So must-win game.
Oh, yeah, that's like
series finale against the
You
Rockies.
just got World Series tickets,
I know.
essentially.
Biggest game of the year, probably.
Oh my god,
so that's a big one.
Crazy.
Can't lose that one.
Yeah,
either going for the sweep or maybe the rubber game of the series. Who knows?
Or the getting swept. God, God,
I hope not.
I hope. Here's the thing, Rod. If they're going for the sweep and they get it with you in the suite, we can talk about future events.
More Rod appearances.
We need more.
Biggest fan. Yeah.
We need in Rod We Trust would be a great shirt. Man, yeah, that's gonna be crazy. That is gonna be crazy. All right, go get it, Rod. Have fun, and 19 of you other guys will be able to go with Rod to that event. Have a great time.
All right, let's get back to our Major League picks. We have two divisions left to get to. In the National League Central last year, the Milwaukee Brewers won the division, actually going away by 10 games with 93 wins. They finished 10 games ahead of both the Cardinals and Cubs, who were both 83-game winners. And then the Cincinnati Reds were 77-85. The Pirates 76-86. That was actually the most tightly bunched division in all of baseball. Is also probably the easiest division in baseball to win. But who's going to win it?
I think so.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah.
The Cubs are clearly going for it with the addition of Kyle Tucker. They're the trendy pick. They're the sexy pick.
Everyone's picking them.
I'm gonna jump on that bandwagon too. I'll take the Cubbies to finish in first place in the National League Central.
You really like to be right, and you probably are right.
Yeah.
I can't, in good faith, pick the Chicago Cubs. I don't really like them, and I don't know what it is about them that I don't like. I lived there for many years. Had a great time going to Cubs games. Is it Craig Counsell? It might be Craig Counsell. Nice guy, whatever. He just bugs me. I don't know why. I'm going against the grain.
But who are you going to pick? I mean,
you know who I took?
If you didn't want to pick the Cubs, the tricky thing is, the Cardinals didn't do any terrible. The Brewers lost, a bunch of
guys.
Key players,
they always do,
Willie Adames, but they always do. I mean,
you know who I went?
Right.
I went with a very weird off the cuff pick. It's my boldest prediction. I think I'm going to go with the friggin' Cincinnati Reds and Terry Francona.
Right.
I love Terry, and here's the other thing. I think Ellie De La Cruz is poised for a monster season. I love Matt McClain. I love some of their young arms. I really hope that they win because I'd like to see that team kind of return to prominence a little bit. I really love some of their players. I love watching the Reds play. It's wild. So I took them. I'm going to go with the Reds. It's bold. I get it.
They had a losing record last year, but they scored more runs than they gave up. They should be a little bit better this year. Tito effect. New managers tend to have an effect their first year. It's not a bad call.
It's not a bad call. I'll probably look really, really foolish. But I don't care. I'm willing this to happen. I just don't like the Cubs for whatever reason. I don't know why I don't like them so much.
I'm mostly with you. I picked the Reds to finish second in the division. I do think that they kind of bounce back and have a pretty good year. I did go with the Cubs as well. It's not about there's too many picks. There's 30 picks, so it's not really like I have to differentiate myself for the final tally because we're going to get so many wrong. But I am going to go with the Cubs. I do think that they end up
I think second, third, and fourth are extremely close in this division too. Yeah. The Brewers had the second best run differential in the NL last year at 136. I mean, I don't know how they're going to fall, but I don't know if they'll fall that far. So I'll take the Brewers to finish second and at least threaten in the wild card race.
Okay.
They'll be in the conversation at least at the end of the year.
D in the chat said the way you feel about Craig is kind of the same way I feel about you talking to me. I don't know why I don't like him. I just don't like him. That's fair, D. I hear that a lot, buddy. You're not offending me by any stretch. I had the Cubs finishing second, Ben. Had the Brewers finishing third because they'll find their way around. And I had the Pirates finishing fourth ahead of the St. Louis Cardinals, who are it's just gonna be rough.
I'll take the Pirates.
Katie Wu.
I'll take the Pirates third. They were only a game behind the Reds. They'll have a full season of Paul Skeens. I assume he's going to be good again. And he's going to win some games.
Paul Skeens.
So I think they'll maybe even break 500. 82 wins. I think the Reds are right about there as well. 81, 82 wins, and I'll take the Cardinals to drop into last place this year. I mean, if you're really going to do nothing. And you've even that great fan base that they have is a bit stir crazy with what they've done this offseason. They deserve a bad season this year, and I think they're going to get it. Paulie?
Sorry, Katie Wu. We love you, and it's going to be a grind for you this year.
Who did you have, Ben? Fourth and fifth?
I had the Pirates third, the Reds fourth, and the Cardinals fifth.
Okay. I'm going with the Cubs to win it. I got the Reds in second. I'm going with the Brewers in third. I'll take the Cardinals in fourth and the Pirates last.
Ooh, really? Okay.
Yeah, they're still the Pirates.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to be close, though. It's not going to be one of those 60-win last place teams. They were 76-win last place team.
It's not a great division, but
they were the best last place team in baseball last year. I know that's not saying a lot, but they were. So I think they go up from there. All right, finally. The National League West. This is going to pain all of us. And I assume we're all picking the same winner of the division as every other expert in baseball across the board in every site that I've seen. And I've looked at a lot of predictions. Not one person has tried to go against the grain on this one.
Ben, you do a great job.
Mm-hmm. Everybody just agree? Do we even have to say it?
No.
All right, let's pick second through fourth then.
This one hurt me too. Hurt me. I went last year.
Last year, 98 wins for the Dodgers, 93 Padres, 89 Diamondbacks, 80 Giants, 61 Rockies.
Yep. This pained me to do it, and I did. Paulie, do you have the last year's results? I do. What did I have in second place? I had the Padres, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah, I did pick the Pods last year. I'm gonna slide them down to 1. I'm sliding them down to 3 behind the Arizona Diamondbacks. Another really trendy pick. Great additions for them. Health is really important for them. They've got a good starting rotation. They got a good bullpen. They got guys that can play baseball. They got a great manager. And not that we don't for all of those things. But they're a little bit stronger in the rotation. They're a little bit bullpen maybe comparable. I went with the Diamondbacks in second, mostly because I want to keep my expectations low. And I got the San Diego Padres in third. I got the San Francisco Giants in fourth, and I got the Colorado Rockies in fifth.
They scored 886 runs last year, the Diamondbacks did. I don't think they'll lead the baseball in runs scored again, but they don't have to because they got better pitching this year. I tend to agree with you. I think the Diamondbacks right now are the second-place team in the NL West. Yeah. I think it's close. Got the Padres in third, Giants in fourth, and Rockies in fifth.
The Giants scare me. They do, because it's an even year. They had a down year last year, but as much as this pains me to say, because I really liked him as a person, I think Bob Melvin's lost his fastball a little bit. I do. And I think that
I think it's much more the roster.
Their roster.
Who do they have?
I know. They got a strong left side. They've got a couple of good top of the rotation guys. They have a good back end. Everything else is in between, man. You think we've got question marks on our roster? They've got way more. They got way more. A lot of people in the chat thinking they're going to step up. Somebody had the Diamondbacks in fourth. I don't see it. I really don't. I think they're going to be a really good baseball team.
Well, last year, you guys both picked the Padres to finish second. I went against the grain, picked them to finish third.
We were right.
You guys were right. Padres had a good year, though. It worked out pretty well for them. So I actually had the Padres finishing third as well, with the Diamondbacks finishing second, and I have flipped that with your guys' picks. Going against the grain worked pretty well last year. Padres very well could have won the World Series.
I like it.
So I'm going to go against the grain this year. I got the Padres finishing second.
Look at
nice.
you.
I'm glad.
Such a homer flagship pick, Paulie. You're so bought off.
And I don't. It's not. I'm not actually down on the Padres at all. I think they could win.
You're down. Just admit it.
I think they could win another 92, 93 games like they did last year. And I think we'd all take that right now. Here's the problem. And I was going through this scenario yesterday. Very realistic, I think, possibility in the National League. The National League is way better than the American League on paper this year.
Yeah.
When you go through like the power rankings right now, a lot of them have National League teams top 5, top 6. You don't even get to an American League team until like 7 or 6, the Baltimore Orioles or the Boston Red Sox. The Padres, they're top 10 in a lot of power rankings. They're a good spot, but the National League is so good this year that I could see the Padres winning 93 games and possibly not making the playoffs. What happens if the Padres win 93 games, but the Diamondbacks get to like 95? The Phillies, finish second to the Braves. They get like 96, and the Mets win 95. You could actually get to 93 and not even make the playoffs. You were the top wild card last year at 93. It might not be enough. Last year we were thinking, hey, you might sneak in with 84 wins in the playoffs. That was not true. You needed at least 89 wins to make the playoffs last year. And even with 89 wins, the Diamondbacks were aced out in the tiebreaker at the end. I think it's going to take over 90 wins to make the playoffs. So what happens if the Padres win 93? Is that a successful season or not?
No. If they don't make
the playoffs, it's not
a successful season.
Last year was, great 93 wins.
Yeah.
We're so happy with it.
Yep.
That's the weird thing about baseball. But if they win 87 and make the playoffs, we're
successful.
Happy.
Correct.
And if they win 93 and don't,
correct,
we're not.
Yeah, that's exactly
it's
right,
a tough National League.
It's a gnarly National League. My wild cards, Phillies, Diamondbacks, Padres are my wild cards right now, Benny.
Let's just do we'll do American League, National League champions, and who's your World Series winner.
Okay. You got your wild cards?
Yeah, I think in the end, the Padres sneak it out ahead of the Phillies. So I've got the Mets, the Padres, the Diamondbacks, and the Padres as my 3 wild cards.
Not sold on the Mets. They're 2 guys in their rotation are hurt. The rest of them are okay. I mean, are they going to club teams to death?
Remember, though, they got off to a terrible start last year. They were a really good team. Really good team last year.
They did.
And then they went to the National League Championship Series. Yep. They don't take any of that momentum into this year. I don't know. I feel like they do. I'm probably underselling the Phillies, but I got to pick someone to fall back a little bit, so I did. As for American and National League pennant winners, I'm going to go with the Orioles in the American League.
High on those guys. Kyle Gibson, that new addition, just really put them over the edge for you. I do not believe in that team.
I know you don't.
I do not believe in that team.
But I don't believe in the Yankees.
I don't either.
And I think it's just too much of a leap for the Red Sox in 1 year.
I don't
to go all the way.
I think the Red Sox win the pennant, and I think I actually am not picking the Dodgers to win the pennant.
Cool.
I'm not picking the Dodgers. Braves.
Okay.
Yeah, Red Sox, Braves. Braves win it. That's my boldest. That's my set it in stone.
I will say the Dodgers do win the National League, but they lose in 7 to the Baltimore Orioles.
This Orioles guy, what has happened?
Well, I think they're going to
sucking on crab cakes. Dude, he's
okay. Guy talks to Adam Jones one time.
Talks to Adam Jones one time.
I think they're going to be good. They've got too many good players, and when they are, and they have a winning record,
you got them deadline, being great.
They're going to
good.
They're going to pick up an ace pitcher at the deadline. I believe they've got enough capital, and they're going to be good enough that they're going to go for it.
They've always had enough capital.
I know,
and they
but
still don't do it.
This year they have to do it. They have to get someone at the deadline. I think they're going to end up head and shoulders at the end. They'll be the best American League team, and they're going to win it. It's going to be a great story.
I can't in good conscience.
In the World Series.
I cannot in good conscience sit in here and pick the Los Angeles Dodgers to win a World Series after the manner and they won it last year. I know they spent all the money. They got all the players. But again, I'm not saying they got lucky. I gave so much credit to Dave Roberts last year for how he managed. So much credit. But at the end of the day, there's been more mistakes made in the playoffs by that guy than there have been successes. I'm gonna roll against the Dodgers winning the World Series.
Can he push every right button
again? And if so many things have to go right as we saw last year, and they will have injuries, certainly. It's already started for them, but they're going to be a juggernaut in the regular season, as they always are. Nothing changes.
I really thought I was outthinking the room here with my Red Sox prediction, but Woodsy, I'm
high on those guys, dude.
On the same path there.
I'm telling you, something about Bregman being there, and they'll get Devers right.
It just feels like a Red Sox year.
It really does.
In the American League. So I've got them winning the pennant. I do have the Dodgers winning the National League.
Yep.
Look, they're the best team ever assembled, like on paper at least. It would be a massive just collapse if they don't even get to the World Series.
I'm willing it. Yeah, I'm willing it.
Paulie will post all of our picks.
Who's your winner?
I'm taking the Red Sox.
Red Sox. I got the sense. All right, none of us. I mean,
so we got 3 winners out of the AL East.
All out of the AL East.
No
Dodgers. No Dodgers loving this morning, at least for the World Series. All right, Paulie will post all of our picks on social media, and then we will forget about them for 6 months.
Yep.
And then one day in October, we'll go, how do we do on our picks? And Paulie will go, hey, you got
3
10
out of
right.
10.
You got 9 right. You got 9 right at the end of the year.
That was fun. I like that.
We need a contestant for Take on Woods Wednesday edition. Chance to qualify for the trip to Las Vegas. 833-288-0973. Call now. Play our game as soon as we come back. If you enjoy making predictions, though, that involve sports, Prize Picks is a way you can do it every single night. It's daily fantasy for everybody. With over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, Prize Picks is made daily fantasy accessible to all. All you have to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 players on stat projections. You can win up to 1,000 times your cash. And tomorrow, opening day, set your baseball lineups by picking your favorite stars. Luis Arraez, 1.5 hits, more or less. You can go strikeouts. Michael King, 6.5, more or less. Oh, those numbers can change. I'm just kind of giving you examples. Put them in your lineup and win real money with Prize Picks. It's easy to download the app. When you do, make sure you use the code KWFN because you're going to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Free play right here at the start of baseball season by using the code KWFN. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. They take MasterCard, Venmo, Apple Pay. It's really easy to load your account and then get your winnings when you do win, and you will win. I've won. You can win too with Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the Central Valley Reptile Expo.
Oh, yeah.
Don't miss the Reptile Expo, March 29th and 30th at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Shop snakes, lizards, frogs, turtles, and spiders from top local breeders. Enjoy a live animal show, meet an alligator and a sloth. Get tickets at Central Valley Reptile Expo.com. I know you're always looking for things to do with your two boys.
They would
go
love
nuts.
It.
They'd go nuts over that.
They would
Spiders and sloths.
When is it?
March 29th and 30th. So that would be this weekend.
Oh, I'm unavoidably detained.
Are you?
Well, they don't get back till Friday.
No, then you can take them on Saturday.
I'm going to a concert in L.A. on Saturday.
Oh.
Yeah, with the missus. And then back Sunday for a game out in where, Paulie? Valley Center? It's like an hour and a half from my house.
It's not really in the center of anything, actually, when you think about it.
Very far. The field's
I had
really
erased
good.
that from my memory that we have to do that this week.
Yeah.
So
No,
we
get to do it.
No, we have to go to Valley.
No, we get to. It's a good field. It's a good field at least.
Valley is far from the center of anything as you can get.
Yes.
All right. We got some contestants on the line. We will pick one as we play today's game of Take on Woods. Take on Woods brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. Or is it we have you? We got you is what it says here. So, all right, let's go. Caller number one. Is this Matthew?
Hello?
Hello, who's this?
Hi.
Hey, this is Matt.
It is Matt. Matt, are you calling for Take on Woods?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You are the contestant today. Here's what you're playing for. If you can beat or tie Woods in our 5-question musical trivia challenge, you will qualify for our grand prize drawing. It is 2 tickets to Alanis Morissette at the Coliseum at Caesars Palace, a 2-night stay at the Flamingo Hotel and Casino, and a $100 gas card. See Ticketmaster.com for your tickets. All right, you get to pick the category. It gives you a little bit of an advantage. Here are your choices. Call Me Al, 5 song titles that begin with the letters AL. We have a mystery category, all 2-second songs, but you have to figure out the category based on the first song title. And then we have our new category today, Basketball Goose. Tier 1, Goozinator gave me a category with a basketball-themed March Madness Take on Woods. So you've got your choices. Call Me Al, the mystery category, or Basketball Goose. Matthew, what would you like to play?
Definitely the mystery category.
All right.
Mystery.
Let's cue up the tunes because we have an all 2-second song mystery category for you today. Now, this is the tricky part. If you get the title of the first song, it is the clue to unlock the rest of the song titles. Now, if you pass, you can always figure it out the hard way, but you need to give me the song title and the artist for each of the 5 to score each point. You go first, Woods goes second. We'll compare your scores. Remember, you can pass, though, if you don't know one. We'll come back to it if there's time left on the clock. Matthew, you ready to play?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. 60 seconds on the clock is an all 2-second song mystery category. Your time begins when Paul plays our first song. Good luck, Matthew. Let's take on Woods.
They made up their minds and they started packing.
Oh, damn it.
All right, let's go to song number 2.
Walk this way, Aerosmith.
That is correct. Song number 3.
Don't go changing.
Correct. Song number 4.
That's the way it is. Bruce Hornsby in the rain.
That is correct. Song number 5.
She used to laugh, she used to sing.
All right. More Than a Feeling, Boston?
Incorrect. Go back to song number 1.
They made up their minds.
Oh. Damn it.
You got 3. Come on.
Go to the next one.
Yeah, that's all you got. You already got the 5th one wrong. You got the other 3 right. So I think we're running out of time. All right. Did you figure? So Walk This Way, Just the Way You Are, and The Way It Is. That was The Way by Fastball for our first song. So the mystery category, way was the key word. And the one you didn't get, Any Way You Want It by Journey. I don't know if 3 is going to be enough with these songs, but we'll see. Let's bring Woods in. Hang on the line, Matthew. All right. Woodsy comes into the dark, but I will tell you it is all 2-second songs today. All right, Matthew's score is locked in. Put 60 seconds back on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Matthew.
That's The Way by Fastball.
Correct. Song number 2.
Walk This Way by Aerosmith.
Correct. Song number 3.
Don't go changing.
It's Billy Joel, Just the Way You Are.
Correct. Song number 4.
Bruce Hornsby in the Range. I'll come back to it.
All right, song number 5.
Journey, Any Way You Want.
Correct. Back to song number 4. What's the word?
The Way. It's The Way It Is?
Yeah. Cool. You'd already won. Matthew got 3. A well-played game.
Very well played.
5 for 5 on the mystery category. And The Way was the key to unlocking all the Way songs today.
When you did Fastball, the way. I thought it
You
was going to be
baseball?
baseball.
Oh.
And then what was the next one was
The
walk this way. I was like, oh.
walk.
Well, so
that's right. Fastball, walk.
I was trying to get my head around
Baseball
baseball
things.
songs.
Oh,
and
that's
so
right.
when the other ones came, I was like,
Yeah, you went in a different direction. But you
did.
still got 5 out of 5. Well
Man,
done.
I always forget it's
Well
a
done.
generational thing. I know. I forget that the way it is a song and that's not changes by Tupac.
By Tupac,
'Cause I
correct.
sampled that
It's-
and I
and
hear
it's
that and I'm
so good.
I expect to hear Tupac like immediately.
It's so good. So good.
Well
Yeah.
played, both of you guys
Thank
today. It
you,
was a
thank
fun
you,
game
thank you.
today in our mystery category. All right, we will take a timeout. We just got some big college basketball news that probably affects the Aztecs. I bet you didn't even see this. So
You
we can
would
talk
be
a little
right.
college hoops when we come back.
I have no idea what he's
with
about
Ben
to
and
talk
Woods
about.
on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place.
This has obviously been the week to hate on NIL and the transfer portal, college basketball with Magoon Guath and Nick Boyd entering the portal and leaving San Diego State.
I still don't hate it. I'm glad that these kids are getting a chance to really make some life-changing money.
I agree with you from their perspective, and I would advise them probably to do the same thing.
But something's got to
not
change.
Good for college basketball to have this much movement. Do you know how many kids are in the transfer portal? It opened on Monday.
Last I saw was 700.
Over 1,000. There's over 1,000 players already in the transfer portal, and there's still 2 weeks of the NCAA tournament left.
Wow. Is that just basketball?
It's just basketball. Division I
smokes. It's like
basketball. So that's about an average of, there's like 360 teams. So that's about 3 per team. Average entered the portal.
There's that many D1 teams?
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
But making the tournament's not easy. It's 68 teams make it, but you got 350-something teams that are competing for the title. Well, actually, one less. I saw a story this week. St. Francis, I don't know if you remember, they were one of the 16 seeds in the play-in game. Lost a good game to Alabama State at the end.
I watched that game.
They announced this week that they are leaving Division I and dropping to Division III. They can't compete with the money and the NIL, and they're just going to go to the non-scholarship route and no longer compete and try to make the NCAA tournament. So that was it. They're done. They won't be returning. That's, I think, unfortunately, a trend we are going to see more of, where schools realize, what are we doing here? We can't compete with the finances of the big schools. We shouldn't even try. Division I just isn't for us anymore.
So it's tough, too. Jacob is with a good point, I think. In the chat, he says, you know how much a teacher makes compared to these athletes? They deserve to be paid, but there should be a cap. 1.7 a year for a kid to play basketball is insane. And I think my retort to that is, do you know how much money schools make off these kids? Like, then the school should be paying the teachers more. One has nothing to do with the other. If you can play college basketball at an elite level, again, it's the old adage of nobody shows up on Saturday to go watch the debate team. You know what I mean? And it's true. Like, if you knew how much Alabama made off the players' backs for 100 years, it's in the billions. And yes, it's a great opportunity to play college football. But again, I think we were all in favor of tightening it up a little bit, making it a little bit more fair. But again, I mean, how are you going to regulate what a team can spend, what their boosters want to give? It's just, it does feel a little bit daunting as you kind of look at it. You go, there's really no way to do this other than contracts for players. Contracts.
I see maybe two solutions at least that jump to mind for me. Now, when did the NCAA, when did they get rid of you have to sit out a year when you transfer? It was fairly recently.
Yeah. Same with all the court rulings. Like, hey, you can't just tell them arbitrarily now you can't play anymore.
Right. I think just they need to go back to that.
Tell them
if you're going to transfer out,
the courts aren't going to let it.
I understand.
It's free market. It's free enterprise. It's out of their hands. So
then I would. What about a de-incentivizing, as KG says, about transferring? Like you have to give money back if you transfer, something like that. Again, you're kind of a
buyout.
You're kind of a contract employee.
I do think we're getting to the point where, and we've talked about it a little bit over the years now, or certainly over the last few months, a contract situation might be the best thing. Maybe like a 2-year contract. If you transfer for more money, Magoon leaves to go to Kansas. He's there. He's signing a 2-year contract. Now, if he wants to leave and go to the NBA, fine.
Sure.
But 2 years of college eligibility, you're at that new school now.
And if Brian Dutcher had signed Magoon Gwath, who, again, not a really highly rated prospect, if he had signed Magoon Gwath to, hey, man, we're going to give you $100,000 for 2 years, we'd have Magoon Gwath for another year. Now he'd be making $50,000 a year. Who are we to tell a kid, just like us? I mean, if you have another opportunity to go take it, as long as you're not in this business, but I'm going to be making 3 times the money. I love you guys. I love the station, but I got to do what's best for my family.
And how about a lot of those kids who specifically come to play for the coach that recruited them, and they sign their 2-year contract, and after 1 year, the coach is gone.
It happens all the time.
All the time.
And though nobody gets a bigger pass in college athletics than the friggin' coaches. Nobody. And that's been the way it's been forever.
Yep.
And those guys have gotten a pass since this thing started.
Well, fans will rip college football players for not playing in their bowl game. That means nothing because they're trying to get to the NFL. But the coach has already signed the paperwork for a multi-million-dollar
deal. Yeah, he's going up to Oregon or he's going to Alabama. And, he had 4 years left on his deal. The university's going to pay him $70 million buyout.
Good for him.
Oh, good for him.
What a promotion.
Yeah.
And while the Aztecs will probably never be able to compete financially with the upper crust of college basketball, they can. Their stability has been a big advantage with just, Fisher and Dutcher over now a 26-year period.
Gosh, does it matter anymore, though?
It might.
Does it?
Not necessarily at the top end. I mean, they're not going to get a 5-star recruit who wants $3 million. But, if you're competing against other schools, the Aztecs have never really recruited they get 3-star and 2-star players, and they get their pick of those guys, because they do have advantages to offer. They've got Dutch, they've got stability, they got the Jam Center, they got San Diego, they got the weather. They have good things. They just don't have the money for the 4- and 5-star guys. So they get their pick of the litter, and they do a good job picking the guys that they pick. Ultimately, though, as long as this model looks like this, and who knows how much longer it's going to continue this way, but for now, it takes money to get players and keep players in college basketball. And this is good news for San Diego State, this nugget that came out just a few minutes ago. The Players Era Festival, which, of course, is the NIL tournament that the Aztecs were part of the debut. They got over $1 million for participating this past year. They got 2 huge wins against Houston and Creighton that clearly got them into the NCAA tournament. If they hadn't been in that tournament or won those games, they're not even in the NCAA. So that was a double win for San Diego State, and they're going to be in again next year. We already know that. They're part of the field for 2025, but it was just announced that starting in 2026, they are now expanding the Players Era Festival to 32 teams to create a November Madness event, like early season college basketball, where you get 32 of the best teams in college basketball. We knew they were going to go
to 16.
Yeah. Now they're going to even jump it even higher. And the idea is that it won't all be in Vegas to start. They'll do like in other cities, maybe even in San Diego, like a 4-team pod where you play like a 3-team round robin, and then the winners of the pods advance on to Vegas to the brackets, and then they play more games. But you're going to get a lot of great non-conference games, which is good for San Diego State. And they're believed to be, they're in next year and likely to be invited again in 2026.
Nice.
And you get the NIL money. You get the good matchups that are hard for Dutch to schedule. It's tough. Teams don't want to play San Diego State because it's a tough game, and they don't need it because they got their conference schedule. So Dutch gets the scheduling, gets the money, and we're going to have, as fans, the NBA tried to create their in-season tournament.
Yeah.
This is
actually really good.
Something exciting, I think, for college basketball fans early in the year, like a pre-tournament NCAA tournament with 32 teams, a real champion crowned like in November or early December. That's going to be a very exciting event to follow going forward. So this thing has been an unqualified in 1 year, huge success. And San Diego State was in on the ground floor, which hopefully means they'll be in going forward as a consistent part of this field of 32 starting in 2026.
Yep.
Not this next season, but the season after that. But they're in next season for the 16 team, and then we'll be hopefully in again for the 32 teamer in 2026.
Yeah. This is interesting. Somebody just said on Twitter, all right, take away scholarships for any athletes receiving NIL money. Then you get your money, but you pay your own way. You pay your tuition, your room and board. Colleges, you get players through NIL, lose that scholarship as well. There's a million different hypotheses and theories to get it done.
I was talking to someone yesterday.
Because Benny, if you get a job out of college, you get a job, and they're giving you $100,000 or whatever. All right, great. Go find a place to live, pay your water bill, pay your school, whatever you have to pay. Like that's, you're going to get a free ride and 1.7.
Yeah, I don't know what that's going to do. Okay, so they eat a chunk out have to pay their education.
Pay their way.
That's not going to change. They're still going to transfer if they get another deal somewhere else. Bigger deal. The idea that maybe if you transfer a player, like take Magoon Guath, North Carolina or whatever, they have to pay like a fee to the previous team, like a percentage of their NIL deal goes back to the school that originally recruited him and developed him, as a way that they can then, pay NIL players to, come to their school and compensate for the work that they put in and, recruiting and developing that player. So it's not just a farm system with no consequences where you just steal other teams' players every single year for nothing.
I feel bad for the fans though, because they're the ones that are like, oh, we need more help from you. That sucks to have to rely on donations essentially from your fans.
Paulie, and then imagine that convo when somebody goes to Brian Dutcher and they say, hey, we need you to cut a 30-second spot to ask people to donate. Like, it's for Dutch, who probably just wants to do the craft of like the recruiting is already a nightmare and always has been. But the guy that just wants to teach these kids how to be good human beings and good basketball players and good students, because he does care about those things.
Like, I was texting with my buddy yesterday. He is a season ticket holder for Aztecs basketball. He bought a Magoon Guath NIL jersey through the Mesa Foundation to further help support Magoon Guath. He was the guy that flew to Dayton to watch their games. Like, he's a diehard fan. He's putting his dollars behind his support. And he's like, I feel like college basketball is dying. For me as an Aztecs fan.
That's tough.
We need to check traffic before we this month's crazy. With the teams that are still playing and dealing with the transfer portal. Tom Izzo, the coach at Michigan State, talking about that passionately yesterday. We can play a little bit of that right after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Humboldt Casino. We still have a few problems here, guys. One of them is a hit-and-run crash on northbound 805 before the 54. Those vehicles are over the right shoulder. Up ahead, got a stalled vehicle partially blocking the 47th Street off-ramp. Accident on northbound 15 before Carmel Mountain Road. That's being cleared out of the HOV lane. Hey, players, things are about to get real here in San Diego with the all-new Humboldt Casino Resort, where you can play your heart out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. Opening this summer, Humboldt Casino Resort, the players' place. Learn more at Humboldt.casino.com. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Dutch seems like a really roll with the punches guy, but this is a tough new world for some of the old head college basketball coaches who are trying to also deal with the transfer portal and coach their team at the same time. And Tom Izzo went into a long time. We can't play it all for you, but here's a little bit from Michigan State's coach.
No, because you don't understand. When I came back Sunday night, that was it. There was nothing on my mind but giving these guys a chance to win one more game, get to Elite Eight, and one more game, and have a memory that'll last their entire life, their kids' life, and their grandkids' life, because that's what it is. And so excuse me for being passionate about it or pissed off about it, whichever words you want to use, but I'm not going to talk about it because it's not fair. It's not fair to the people. You could say it's fair to your program. I'll run my program like I want to run my program. And people have a disagreement with that, God bless them. But these guys that gave me everything they could give me are going to have a chance. And I'm not going to screw it up by spending any time on other stuff other than, I don't eat, I don't sleep right now. So why in the hell would I do something else?
So he's pointing out the fact that he doesn't want to be distracted by NIL and the transfer portal during his NCAA tournament run. Now, remember, Dutch, the last 2 years, telling stories about, like, they won a game, they get on the bus, and he's already on the phone.
Yeah, he was doing recruiting trips when they were in Houston for the Final Four.
Yeah, I mean, he was going to the Final Four, and he was like, okay, but I got to stop and do this recruiting, and I got to talk to the transfer portal guys, and I'm on the bus getting on and talking to, guys that I want on the team for next year. He's juggling just plates and plates and plates. And
always
Izzo's
be
going,
closing,
that's
baby.
not fair. My players right now that I have
I
on
know,
the team.
it's true.
But how fair will it be? I mean, Izzo doesn't have to worry so much about losing guys in the portal because he's at Michigan State. But, I mean, if they get a huge offer somewhere else, how's he going to feel like, oh, I gave them all my heart and soul, and then they went and transferred somewhere else, to Duke next year. It can happen. It can happen. So anyway, that's the latest on NIL, the transfer portal, the Players Festival that's coming up with San Diego State. All right, we'll take a time out. We'll come back. Final hour. I had a pretty emotional experience yesterday. I'll share it with you next here on The Fan. mentioned yesterday on the show that I was going straight from here to Channel 10. It was my turn to do the 10 News Leadership Award story. And
I didn't win again.
You did not win the 10 News Leadership Award. So, these, the nominees come into our station, and then I essentially get an email from our public relations person, say, okay, here's the winner this month, and here's some information. Set up an interview, set up a story shoot, and then go do the story. So I had gotten my information, and I set up the story yesterday, and you never know exactly what to expect, but and now that I've given it away, it's not a surprise. The story will air next week. But I went to a place called the First Step House of North County, which is it's just a house in Carlsbad where it's completely run through volunteers and donations. And what they do is they take it's for men who have pretty much hit the bottom of the barrel with alcoholism. I mean, a lot of them are homeless. Their lives are in shambles. And it's just a way to get them clean and sober. 10 days, they go in. There are volunteers, and I think all of the volunteers are recovered or recovering alcoholics themselves. And they do, get sober the first couple of days. Like I say, it can be gnarly the first couple of days.
Kicking it. Yep.
Just the withdrawals and the symptoms. And then, then they're there, and, they get fed really well. They have, they have a cook who comes in and gives them real food, which, some of these guys who are living on the streets has not had in a while. And they get to interact with other people who are on the same road that they are on, meetings, like daily meetings with groups every single day, and just the experiences.
What's it called? First
Step House of North County.
That's awesome.
And again, they don't take a dime of government funding or anything. It's all based on donations. I think they have a golf tournament and a comedy show every year that they do to raise
sounds familiar.
Raise funds for First Step House of San Diego. But I talked to some of the volunteers who were the counselors who work there, and they have teams that have different shifts, and I think there's 7 beds, and there's constantly, but over the last, it opened in 2017, and they said almost 1,700 men have come through. Ooh. And some don't make it, which is just tragic. They relapse, and they say that happens, and then we invite them back to come and try again, because alcoholism is a disease, and it's something that you'll battle the rest of your life. But there are many huge success stories, and some of the guys got just really emotional talking about their journeys, and then the journeys of people that they have mentored in the program. And Don, who was one of the volunteers, he touched me when he said, just think about that, 1,600 plus men. But it's not just them, because they go back out, and for every success story, they can reconnect with their families, their kids. They're not out driving drunk. Maybe someone didn't get killed because they came in and did this program, and it's just it was really emotional. It was really a eye-opening experience for me, and it reminds me of the good work that people just give of themselves every day in our community, and that's why we do those stories at Channel 10.
That's
just
great.
Powerful, and that'll air next Friday, I believe, in our 4:00 news.
I look forward to seeing it, Benny.
10 News Leadership
Good work,
Awards.
brother.
So,
that's excellent.
It's certainly out of my comfort zone.
I was thinking about that for a moment, walking in there, hello, I'm Ben Higgins.
I like press boxes and gyms, and that's what I'm comfortable with. This was different. This was definitely a little more, real life.
Yeah. Yeah, it turns out
consequences.
It's really tough out there for a lot of people. And I love that you guys are highlighting that stuff, and I'm interested in looking into that.
It's funny because
to help.
That's great. Some of the guys have been living in bushes for months and months. When they come, there's been CEOs who come in as well. Alcoholism can touch every economic status group. It doesn't discriminate. It's not picky.
Not picky even a little bit. No, it's not just the downtrodden and the people that you see living on the streets. It can happen to any single person. I've seen it. I've lost 3 of my closest friends from college to drugs and alcohol in the last 10 years. Guys that I, absolutely lived that lifestyle with, and look back and went, oh, you guys never got out. You never stopped. Oh, I thought that was just something we were doing, when we were young and wild. And, luckily for me, this gig, my family, That's what's kept me, on the mostly straight and narrow for many, many years. But not everybody has that. And to lose friends that you were like, oh, that's just what we did. And to know that those guys didn't make it it's jarring to even think about. So that's awesome that you went and did that, Benny. That's cool.
Well, I love hearing about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm saying my wife, she's very open with her battle with alcoholism. She's coming up on 6 years later this year.
It's amazing.
Free from alcohol, but she had to go to a very similar a female house, just like that that you were visiting up in Carlsbad yesterday. And so I've gotten to know them a little bit through her. And it's, the life-changing work. It's messy.
7 years,
it's
Paulie.
Sad.
She says in the chat. Leave it to Paulie's trying to do a sweet thing.
I think she's wrong. I'm pretty sure we celebrated 5 last year.
Show tomorrow. It's our 7-year birthday.
Pretty sure we celebrated 5 last year.
Coming
which
up
would make
on
6
7
this year. But the start of year 7, I guess, right?
She says coming up on 7 years. I never know how that works.
We're starting our 8th year, but we're celebrating
our
7-year
anniversary. She just said in the chat, "You're dead." Celebrate 6 and 7 this year. Double party. Okay.
Chris Mack says in the chat. Now, Ben, you can choose your own horn about that.
It's 7. I just did the math. I did the math. We're good.
Honestly,
epic.
I actually feel the opposite. I feel like I have nothing to toot my own horn about. I just went and did the story, but it's the volunteers and the board of directors that puts this together. They do the hard work. I do nothing. I just go in an afternoon and talk to them and do a story. But those are the ones that really, those are the people who deserve the credit and the people who are willing to go through the program. It's got to be so hard to acknowledge, okay, I am at rock bottom here and I need to make some changes.
100%.
Because and the guys were telling me, you never feel like it's you. Like, I like to drink, but I can control
this.
I'll be fine.
Yeah.
One guy said I went through rehab, but it wasn't to get clean. It was to just show everybody that, oh yeah, I'm committed to this. When in the 80s, when he was like, no, it was just to keep my job and to try to keep my family, but I didn't really think I had a problem. That's the hardest thing to really acknowledge for people.
I've said this a million times, and our anniversary of this show is coming up tomorrow. And honestly, for me, the path I was on before I moved here, I wouldn't be here if I hadn't had landed a specifically a morning radio job. It had to be mornings.
Yeah.
If it was afternoons, if it was middays, nothing would have changed. I would have been out. I would have been partying. I would have been doing all sorts of stuff I shouldn't have done.
You get out there at 6, 7 o'clock, go out, grab some drinks.
100%. And that goes into, the next day you're still awake and you got to go in and do a show at 3 o'clock. Morning radio for me, that's why it's always been really special to me, because I was on that path to full on destruction, full on. And without this gig, and then I meet my wife and have kids. Yeah, you don't have to worry about me anymore. Right. Like, it's really never out of your head, but it kind of is for me. I've lived that way for a long time. And it is, I have so much sympathy for those guys that are going through that right now, because I think a lot of us have been there before, where you thought there's just no way out. And I love to hear the work that they're doing up there. That's phenomenal.
Well, look for that story next week. And, if you want to support them, they certainly do donations. They got like $1 a day program because they're taking, they take food from the food bank and stuff. They can operate with pretty low budget. They only pay the cooks. No one else in the house gets paid. The people who live there do all the cleaning and stuff to keep it up, because they have responsibilities. That's part of the process. So anyway, eye-opening experience yesterday for me.
Good for you, Benny.
All right, let's get to a couple other baseball notes. How about the Seattle Mariners yesterday, Woods? Signing Cal Raleigh to a 6-year, $105 million contract extension.
Brilliant move.
Really wish we had a catcher like that.
Like a Cal Raleigh type
in San Diego now.
Me and you both. Specifically right now. He's a good one. He's a good one. They got a great player, and they're going to have him forever. They need more. They need more guys that can hit, because you'd hate to be a Mariners fan and look at your rotation could match up against literally anyone in baseball.
Am I cynical when I say, knowing the Seattle Mariners, is this is this designed to create a little goodwill right
maybe
before the start of the season and
maybe.
sell some tickets? Like, hey, I know you think we don't ever spend anything,
but we're gonna right here.
Here we go, right here, right when we're asking you to come show up to games and buy tickets. Look at this contract we just gave out. Very, very savvy contract to Cal Raleigh to keep him in the Mariners uniform for the next year. I think they bought out 3 years of his arbitration and 3 years of free agency. So, I mean, it's a pretty good deal considering the state of catching around most of the league. To get an offensive producer like that locked in, that seems like a valuable commodity. Plus, he's got one of the most memorable nicknames.
Big Dumper.
In all of baseball as well.
Big Dumper. It's about his butt.
It is.
Wish that was my nickname.
You
wish
do?
Yeah.
Does anyone really wish that?
Yes. Are you kidding? That means you
baseball player?
Yeah. Are you kidding? Oh, there goes Big Dumper. Mine's Big Dumpy, but Big Dumper is fantastic.
I don't know. It just doesn't sound that appealing to me.
Are you kidding? Big Dumper. You have a great
I know
butt.
what it means.
Well, then who wouldn't want to call it? I mean, who wouldn't want to have that nickname?
I didn't like the Big Unit nickname either.
That's another nickname I'll wear proudly. Anytime you want to call me the Big Unit, I'm all in. All in.
And it wasn't because he was 6'11".
It's better than Pee Wee. Mushroom Cap. Here comes old Mushroom Cap Higgins. Forget it. Big Unit, Big Dumper. Anything big is good. You know what my son started calling me lately? And I think it's the sweetest thing in the world, Big Fella. And I hope it sticks. Big Fella. And out of the blue, one day he goes, all right, Big Fella. And I just go, what? And he started laughing. And
Do you call him Little Fella?
No.
Did he?
No,
it just came up.
Calls me Big Fella. It's just decided one day, and I thought it was the greatest. So I'll take it. I'll take Big Fella.
Big Fella.
And he can have Big Dumper. And no, it's a good move for them. They absolutely had to do that. And I think Mariners fans should be happy. But again, you got to get more. You got to get more pieces offensively because you have such an elite pitching staff.
You're happy to lock down a guy like that for 6 years, but you're also like, we already had him. Go get more. We need more.
It's like
it is.
It's like Ben going, everyone's getting a raise.
We did spend money. Well, yeah, we gave everyone raises. It's not the same. I know these guys. I know what I can expect from these dudes.
Big Dumper got his raise.
He did.
All right. The Forbes has come out with their new.
It's a Bluey reference. I didn't even know that.
Bluey?
That's why
Big Dumper?
No, Big Fella.
Oh, Big Fella.
That's why Bo calls that. Okay, now I know. Thank you. I thought he came up with it on his own.
Forbes has come out with their annual MLB franchise valuations. Where do the Padres check in out of the 30 teams in Major League Baseball? What does it mean for ownership right now? We can get into that coming up after a check of traffic. More Ben and Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 0000466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
All right. Before we do any of that, baseball season, of course, starts tomorrow. And we have always touted 7 Mile Casino as a great spot pre-game or post-game because of its convenience. 7 minutes from Petco Park means you can go play some cards in the evening before you head to a game, or if you want to go late after the game, they're open 24/7. So you're a night owl, you want to go 11 to 2 a.m. They're absolutely open with great card playing, or if it's a day game, you can go in the morning. It's any time is a great time for cards at 7 Mile Casino.
Look, I agree with you, Mushroom Cap. I think it's a great place to go have lunch, great place to go have a beer, but I really love playing California-style blackjack. And, of course, Mushroom Cap, the best way to do it. It's just 7 minutes from downtown, right off Bay Boulevard in Chula Vista. They got a great brunch on weekends. They got killer food, smoke-free environment. Mushroom Cap.
You can't make a good beef stroganoff without some mushroom caps. Stroganoff, which I don't believe is on the menu.
I don't.
They should add great food on the menu. It might be. I don't know. It's a pretty big menu, actually. Check it out. Check out the weekend brunch Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Enjoy the patio right on San Diego Bay, and visit 7 Mile Casino, big fella. Just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Charisma in our chat wanted to know what time is the thingy at Tom's Watch Bar on Saturday. Well, I was just about to get to it.
Tell her about the thingy.
Join 97.3 The Fan this Saturday for the thingy at Tom's Watch Bar on 8th and J from 10 a.m. to 3:15 p.m. The thingy is officially known as the East Village Block Party. Bennett Woods, that's us. We're going to hit the air at 10 a.m. Braden Soprenet Show, then Gwynn and Chris. You can check out all the baseball action while enjoying Blue Moon and Coors Light, along with delicious food like Tom's famous prime rib dip sandwich. That's this Saturday at Tom's Watch Bar on 8th and J. Brought to you by Blue Moon. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Celebrate responsibly. There's your thingy update.
I'm sorry that I lost it. Brandon says 7 Mile wants their money back. I started cracking in the middle because somebody in the chat said, "Hey there, pork sword." And it laid me out. It laid me out when I saw it. So KG put it in there. You cannot put that in the chat. And it's all I've been thinking about since.
All right. These are obviously not official numbers. We don't know in what the Padres, if they were like sold today, if the Seidlers decided, hey, we are putting the Padres up for sale, they get whatever, the market offers, whatever the highest bidder would get. And we don't know what the number is, but Forbes magazine does this yearly franchise valuation. We just saw the Boston Celtics sell for $6.1 billion. Yeah. Different sport, different circumstances, but certainly telling how pricey, these franchises have gotten. And this year, number one on the list, no surprise in baseball, the New York Yankees valued at $8.2 billion, with the Dodgers second at $6.8 billion, followed by the Red Sox, $4.8 billion, Cubs, $4.6 billion, and Giants, $4 billion, valued higher than the New York Mets, who are sixth on the list. The Padres, they check in at number 17, so right near the middle of the pack.
Middle of the pack.
Which, when you consider, San Diego's a smaller medium market, no real TV deal to speak of at the moment, the fact that they are valued at $1.95 billion, not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad. And when you think about it, the Padres were purchased by Ron Fowler and Peter Seidler and that group in 2012 for $800 million. That was the sale price.
Okay.
So in the span of now 13 years or so, it's gone up essentially $1.2 billion. So essentially $100 million a year in value increase. So even though, and it was reported this week by Kevin Acee, that they have not made any money. Like there's been no dividends. I know you're not big on the finances, but
no, I'm not better with that. Than
are you
like
okay?
Insurance.
So if you own,
I don't know what a deductible is, but I know what a dividend.
Is. So yeah, if you own something,
I've never gotten any, but no.
I mean, you must have some sort of stock that occasionally. Nothing. A little bit, just a little dividend, small bit of dividend.
No.
Yeah, when you own something and there's a profit at the end of the year.
How much stock do you own?
I own stock through my, company's 401k program.
Yeah, but they don't send you checks for dividends.
Occasionally, I get a dividend check.
You
it's
do?
Usually rolled back into the 401k, but I also have an employee stock purchasing program, so occasionally, it's not much.
I'm a bit more of a fly by the seat of my pants kind of guy, and it'll all work out.
So you can either, when the team is profitable, and we don't know, year to year, how much they make or how much they lose, you can either put that money right back into the team, or you can distribute it to the owners as a dividend check. So, hey, Padres made $50 million. We spread it among the owners. That's your dividend at the end of the year. It was reported the Padres have not taken any dividends. None of their owners have taken $1 as a profit in the team in many years. I don't know exactly the official number. In fact, in recent years, it has been widely reported that they had $100 million cash call.
Correct.
So in that year, at least, when they had to pay $100 million, even though the value went up $100 million, essentially they made nothing that year.
Right.
That was a year where owners made nothing. Now, I'm not asking you to feel sorry for Major League Baseball owners or the Padres owners, because clearly when the value has gone up $1.2 billion almost since they bought the team, they haven't lost $1.2 billion running the Padres. I promise you that.
No.
Over the last 12 years. They probably lost some money, and with the big payrolls, more than other teams have lost. Yeah. And whether that's $100 million or $300 million or whatever the owners have had to put in extra improvements at Petco Park, those come out of the bottom line. But ultimately, it's made up for by this increase in value of the team. So that value is there. But I think the Padres have been pretty honest when they say, but every dollar we've made and more over that time has gone back into the payroll, back into Petco Park, and trying to improve the experience. Now, yes, no, again, don't feel sorry, $1.95 billion, but you don't get that money unless you sell it. It's not, it's not like a bank account where you just withdraw like an ATM.
Yeah, but it's also an asset. Right. And
true.
With an asset that with that much valuation, you're in good shape.
No,
you can
fine.
live
they're fine.
a very, very good life.
Yeah, they're absolutely fine.
This is crazy. And Adam says this in the chat. He said there must be some information out there. It was reported that the Guardians made about $60 million in profits. That's like borderline criminal, in my opinion, to own a baseball team and make $60 million in profit.
The Guardians ranked 25th at $1.4 billion with their franchise valuation.
Wow. $60 million in profits that they're spreading around and not putting in the team. That bugs me as if I was a Guardians fan. That would make me very mad.
Now, there is risk involved. There's no law that says the value of sports franchises has to go up and up and up forever.
Right.
If the tide turns and people decide, hey, we don't like baseball anymore, all of a sudden those numbers could crash and you don't make up the money that you've been paying out all these years.
Well, it's wild though, then that we'd be screaming toward a work stoppage again. You know what I'm saying? Like if baseball is robust, it really behooves them to get in there and figure this thing out before a stoppage.
Well, that's the thing. I would say, maybe the Guardians made a profit, but it all depends on how you look at it. If you own a business, let's say you own, I don't know,
a widget farm,
a widget factory.
Yeah.
Now you put a lot of money in buying the widget factory or building the widget factory.
No, I got investors to do that.
Okay, fine. But you want to make a profit every year.
Yeah.
That's how you pay yourself with your profit.
Right.
After you pay your employees and you pay for your materials and everything and your shipping costs and your taxes, you want to make a profit on whatever's left. That's why you went into business. In sports, oftentimes, like the Padres, there is no profit at the end of the year. It's only in the value your investment goes up in. Now, maybe you can sell your widget factory for more.
Right, that's the dream.
In the future. But again, that's never guaranteed in business.
True.
You have to run your business well. The economy has to cooperate in terms of these things. You have to have people who are willing to spend that $2 billion to buy your team. If they're not out there, then you can't sell it for anything. At the moment. So that's just kind of the economics of baseball where it stands. But I think the fact that the Padres are now almost a $2 billion operation is pretty impressive, considering where they started a decade and a half ago.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. What you had?
Economics lesson now complete.
Thank you. I'll
expect your paper on the subject on Monday.
Wasn't super into economics, really. More of a creative type, artist type.
Macro, micro.
Yeah, I know what macro and micro means.
Do you?
Yeah. Micro's big view, micro's small view. Right?
Yeah. Macro's like the giant economy. Micro's
economy.
more individual, business type.
Are we doing quizzes now? Is that
a little bit. Just making sure.
Anybody?
Voodoo economics. Voodoo, VOO, something DOO economics.
Anybody?
Ben Higgins, Ben Stein, one and the same. Didn't you work with him or something?
I did not.
Did you interview him?
No.
Oh, you stole his game show.
I did. Win Ben Higgins' money.
Yeah, when
he had
Ben
Higgins,
Ben
Stein's money.
Very original. This business. Very.
All right, Paul, you got a Reindl Report for us coming up in our last segment?
I do. What do we got?
Can you explain economics to us in further detail?
I think we already have covered all of the economics.
Moving on to molecular chemistry.
Yeah, I was going to say, how about trigonometry next on Ben and Woods? You want to learn something on this show?
I've got a fun throwback, a little news you can use.
All right,
sounds good.
All
right, that's coming up. Final segment of Ben and Woods. On the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, speaking of economics, baseball fans, you can take a swing making picks on all your favorite players using Underdog. I've been using it kind of sparingly, honestly, throughout the basketball season. I've been waiting for tomorrow. I've already got my picks locked in. I'm so ready to go with Underdog. Just choosing players that'll go higher or lower on some of their stats, like strikeouts, home runs, hits, and more. It's a lot of fun. You can mix and match with different games and different teams and everything else. You can win up to 1,000 times your money, turn $1 into $1,000 with just your baseball knowledge. So a lot of fans already making money on Underdog. This app has over 100,000 five-star reviews and millions of players across the country. But listen, download the Underdog app today. Sign up using the promo code WOODS to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash. When you make your first deposit, join in on the fun. When you sign up with the promo code WOODS, claim your special offer today. Get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly upon first deposit. Let's have some fun this baseball season. You must be 18 and over, 19 and over in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and over in Colorado for some games, 21 and over in Massachusetts and Arizona. Present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Did our division by division picks earlier this morning here on Ben and Woods for the baseball season.
Here he goes.
ESPN.com just released their panel of predictions of each division winner. They all agree with you. Boston Red Sox in the AL East, 13 votes. Orioles got 10, and then Yankees with 3. Blue Jays and Rays each got 1. I mean, that's a wide-ranging division. They agree with who picked the Royals? Was it Paulie or you?
I did.
Paulie picked the Royals. They picked the Royals. 12 votes, 11 for the Tigers, 4 for the Twins, 1 for the Guardians.
Were we all Detroit or Kansas City?
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And then in the West, 18 votes for the Rangers, 7 for the Mariners, 3 for the Astros. Then in the NL East, did we all pick the Braves? No, Paulie picked the Phillies. You and I picked the Braves. 18 votes for the Braves, 9 for the Phillies.
I picked the Braves.
We all picked the Braves. Oh, okay, we all did. All right, 18 votes for the Braves, 9 for the Phillies, 1 for the Mets. The Central, 15 votes for the Cubs, 8 for the Brewers, 5 for the Reds. That was Woods' kind of upset surprise pick in the Central. And in the West,
100%.
28 votes, 100% for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Please, Lord above, if you're listening, I don't ask you for
wild card, 20 votes, Diamondbacks, 19 votes, Mets, 18 votes, Phillies. Padres were in 4th.
How many votes?
11.
11.
But then again, like the Braves got some votes too from the people that didn't pick them to win the division. So there is a bit of that you're not sure. And then the NL champion, Dodgers, 21 votes. There were some people who picked the Phillies and the Braves. One person picked the Diamondbacks. World Series champion, no surprise. Dodgers with 20 votes, followed by the Phillies with 3, Braves with 2, Red Sox, Rangers, Mariners, all picking up a vote.
I'll believe it when I see it.
So some agreement with us, some disagreement with us, but that's the ESPN panel of experts.
I thought you were talking about Mark Feinsand picking.
He picked the Orioles to lose to the Phillies in the World Series. So that was an out there pick, but I picked the Orioles to win the World Series in 7 over the Dodgers. Crazy. That was my out of the box wild selection.
I feel like you go out of the box in the division. I feel like in the World Series you don't go out of the box, but you did.
I mean, if anyone's gonna take down the Dodgers, it's gonna be in the playoffs. And while maybe the short series is the place to, I don't know who's going to face the Dodgers in that short series. Someone pointed out if the Padres sneak in, so the Dodgers are probably going to be the 1 seed.
Yeah.
So they'll get a bye, and then they'll face the winner of the 4 or 5 wild card game. So if you're in the 6 wild card, you wouldn't face the Dodgers. Padres have hit the Dodgers in that 5-game series. But if they were the 4 or the 5 wild card, they would likely face the Dodgers. Do you want to face them in the short series or the longer series?
Short.
I would think the short actually is probably
anything can happen.
It's more random.
So random.
There's more of a chance to take them down in a shorter series.
Any starter can have a bad day, and you go out there and you're like, "Well, we're up 1-0," and then you think the panic would set in, but they're pretty experienced. But yeah, I'll take short series.
Then you win a couple games and you're up 2-1. You feel really good.
You feel great. And then you make a promo that says we slayed the dragon again. And then you don't. And then you lose. You go 24 scoreless innings. Things like that hypothetically can happen. Especially after you make a promo that airs a little bit prematurely.
The Padres have slayed the dragon again.
Right.
Adam was thinking because it didn't win the tournament of drops, it would never be heard again.
Again.
Let's check traffic, and then Paulie will wrap things up with our Reindl Report coming up next year on The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Hamul Casino. Crash still in the clearing stage on northbound 805 right before the 54. Also an accident on or near the Arrow Drive off-ramp, northbound 15. Northbound 15 right before Carmel Mountain Road, accident being cleared out of the HOV lane. And collision on eastbound 78 just past Barham. Car and pickup truck involved. They're over the right shoulder. Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, where you can play your heart out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. Opening this summer, Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place. Learn more at hamulcasino.com. And Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah?
All right.
All right. It is the Reindl Report, brought to you by the Craft Taco. Whether you're craving tacos for lunch or a craft beer for happy hour, the Craft Taco is the answer. Now open in Balboa Park and Sereno Valley. All right, gentlemen, about an hour ago, we were talking some college hoops. Actually, some good news for San Diego State with the expansion of that NIL Players Era Festival. But we do have some more local college basketball news. Yesterday, Miles Byrd announced that he is declaring for the NBA draft, which doesn't really mean a whole lot, at least as much as it used to.
I'm also declaring for the NBA draft.
Are you keeping your radio eligibility?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. If I don't get drafted, I will come back.
He put out the, typical graphic now that says, first and foremost, I'd like to thank my family, friends, and coaches for putting me in the position I am in today. I am blessed beyond measure and forever grateful for their guidance. After doing some thinking with my circle, I have decided to enter my name into the 2025 NBA draft while maintaining my college eligibility. So he said that earlier in the season. He did say, if I come back, I'm staying at San Diego State, but I may explore the NBA draft.
No problem.
Nowadays, all that really means is he gets to go get evaluated and kind of get some feedback from the NBA scouts and coaches and how they view him. I don't personally know if it's going to work out for him this year. I think he might need another year at least in college basketball, where he says he comes back to San Diego State. I guess you don't really take anybody at their word anymore, but your thoughts on Miles Byrd declaring for the draft.
I mean, this is a win-win. He gets to test himself against other draft competition, and as Paulie said, get evaluated by pro scouts, tell him what to work on. I do expect him to be back, but you're right. Nothing can be a certainty. Most guys who enter the portal do so in the first couple of days. But remember last year, Elijah Saunders, it was like the last day of the portal, and they even thought he was coming back, and then he went to Virginia, I think. Last minute was the last transfer in the portal, so you can never be 100% certain until the portal is closed next month.
In the NFL, interesting signing, kind of under the radar a little bit, but Russell Wilson has a new team. He's going to New York. He's signing with the Giants on a 2-year. What was that? It was a 1-year deal. Sorry, up to $21 million. But this comes just a couple of days after they also signed Jameis Winston to a 2-year contract worth $8 million. So I don't know if it's much of a competition, but with Daniel Jones moving on, the Giants have now Russell Wilson at QB1 and Jameis Winston at QB2.
I was at the gym yesterday. I was on the treadmill warming up, and I was watching one of the shows on ESPN, and it was their NFL hot takes.
What? They were talking about football?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
They know it's baseball season?
I know. It was crazy. I was so shocked. It was like, 5 things that teams need. Who should the Cowboys address in free agency, right? And then the next one was, what's your hottest take on the Giants? They said you draft Shedeur Sanders at 3 and you don't look back. And I think that's still a possibility.
Yeah, they're only 1-year deals for Wilson and Winston, so it doesn't preclude you from using that third pick on a quarterback, possibly.
Going to be interesting. The draft is always super interesting.
But if he's not there, you don't have to take a quarterback now. You can just address it next year. So I think they have options going forward. I certainly don't think that Russell Wilson is going to turn the Giants into an immediate playoff
decent year
contender.
last year, though.
He did.
Yeah,
he did. Now, does this mean Aaron Rodgers is going to the Steelers? He met with the Steelers over the weekend, didn't sign, but no one really expected him to because Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to do all the off-season workouts. And once you sign, they actually make you do it or you get fined. So why not just not sign? He's never been a free agent before, so cool. He's just going to wait until after all the OTAs, and then he can sign. He'll learn the playbook on his own time.
It's very Woods move.
Yes, smart, savvy veteran move.
It's like when I signed here, I took a 2-week vacation.
Yeah, you did.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Well,
he's not even signing. He's like, you can wait for me.
Well, I said, well, I'm going to push the start date back 2 weeks so I could go on my honeymoon. Much to your chagrin. Then I came back sick.
You did.
Yeah, it's great.
You did.
Dylan Thief.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
Hi, Dylan. Hello. What is he doing here?
Late.
Good to
Probably
see you.
a little late in the game today. I thought the actually more interesting move yesterday was Stephon Diggs signing a 3-year, $69 million contract with the Patriots, giving Drake May kind of a prime target going forward. Patriots are going to be a under-the-radar, sexy playoff pick, I think, in the NFL this season.
Coach now?
They fired Gerard Mayo. They hired... Who did they hire? Another former Patriot, right?
Oh, Matt Patricia. No,
he
not
was the
Matt
old
Patricia.
One. It is the old one.
The big guy that was the
Vrabel.
tight. Yeah, Mike Vrabel. I was half right. Not really.
Vrabel.
All
right, finally, just a little silly news you can use. And before I get to the current news you can use, it's a little bit of a throwback tie-in. Do you remember? It was July of 2019, 6 years ago. We had just been at 97.3 for about a month.
Okay.
And Woodsy was celebrating his 44th birthday. And I don't remember where I found this.
44 then. What I would do to be 44 again.
But I went online and I was able to find this. It was kind of like a Cameo where you could enter somebody's name and Donny Osmond would sing you a personalized happy birthday message.
Today, we're here at your party where we've secretly replaced your birthday cake with Donny Osmond.
Happy birthday, Steven. This one's for you.
Steven, it's your birthday.
Kind of a banger.
It's better than Jelly Roll, to be honest. I forgot about this.
I have
probably right after it happened.
How the logistics of this work? Like, I'm sure they got a few requests for Steven, so like, okay, we're good. We've got Steven locked in. I don't need to make a new Steven.
But it was one of those things where you're able to put in somebody's name and their age, and they have, I guess Donny Osmond had to do like a million different cuts of that because you got to say 44 and 45 and 46, right? He's got to say every name and year. So now the fast forward, what, 6 years?
Yep.
And if anybody has a birthday and you want Ice-T to give out a personal birthday message, rapper, actor Ice-T, he has teamed up with AmericanGreetings.com, and you can put in a name and you will get a personalized video of Ice-T. And so I punched in one for Benny.
Hey, yo, what's up? You know I get down every day. I'm straight up G. And there's nobody harder than Ice-T. But for your birthday, I'm gonna show you a side of me that nobody ever sees. Come on. We're taking it from Ice-T to Nice Tea.
Nice tea.
Nice tea.
All for your big day, Benny.
It's just iced tea in a sweater.
Blown up like Mr. Rogers. Yeah. He's making little cupcakes and say Benny on them.
Yeah. So you can put in anybody's name.
Nice tea.
And
you want nice, you gotta go ice.
So Benny, happy early 50th birthday. Since
it's a little early.
Woods got the first one.
Thanks for that.
Benny gets the second one.
I mean, again, you can you can do so many of those, and then you have them in the can. There's so many weird names nowadays. Like, what happens when you get a request for, I don't know,
like Braylon or something?
Hermina. Yeah. Destry. Yeah, these are the unusual baby names from 2024. Lava. Okay. Medora. Neroli.
It's gotten a little
Norjana.
What are the names you don't hear little kids being named anymore? Like Mark, Steve, Paul, Ben. Now there's still some Bens. I know some little kids named Ben.
Yeah, there's some Bens.
Yeah, Benjamin.
Herb
has been long gone.
There has not been any Herberts.
I'd like to have a little boy named Frank. I think that would be great.
Frank.
Yeah, Bo, Taylor, and Frank would be awesome.
I don't know why that makes me laugh.
I don't know. Same with me. Little Frankie Woods. Man, we got a Dodger fan in the chat.
Oh,
he's losing his mind.
Why was he trying to call in to win the Padres tickets?
Probably.
When we had our
You
sounder.
guys want to take a caller real quick on the air?
Yeah, let's just let's get it done. All right, you called in. We got our caller here.
97.3 The Fan. Who is this?
It's Juan.
Juan.
Good morning.
Congratulations. You calling in for the Padres tickes?
Yeah, I am.
Then you have
You
won.
are today's winner.
And he just said you have
Juan
won.
has won.
You won.
So sorry, dude.
Hey, Juan, stay
You
online.
just got number one, bro.
Number one. There he is.
See, he's into his own name puns. I'm all for it. Congratulations.
Who is your number one radio show in San Diego?
97.3 The Fan and 92.5.
Oh,
right,
okay. Well, that's fine.
We got in the top two at least. Not bad.
Oh, you got the top one.
All right,
Thank you. Number one. Top one.
Number one.
Thank you,
All right,
buddy.
go back on hold. Paulie's
Stay
going
on
to
the
get you
line. I'll get
information
you
so we can get you the
What
tickets
did
for
he
Friday's game.
Did he say 92.5?
Yeah.
Is that magic 92.5?
so.
Is that Frankie Vizzle and the crew over there? Frankie and Gina? Come on, Juan. He flips it.
Maybe he listens later in the day. I don't know.
I love Frankie B. I've known Frankie B a long time. I don't get much crossover with Frankie Vizzle and Gina in the morning. I really don't. I didn't know that. That people listen to Frankie V and Gina the Latina.
I just started
listen to
following
us.
him. He followed me on Instagram. I didn't realize that, so I followed him back.
Dude,
this week.
I've known Frankie V forever. He's a great dude. Guy grinds it out. He just grinds it out. That guy is I look at him and I go, dude, stop. He does so much like on social media. I don't need anybody to get wind of it and expect me to do all the things that he does because he's so good at it.
Is his last name really Vizzle? Is that's not. That's right. That's just a pseudonym.
His last name is, I think it's Vinci. Is that how you pronounce it?
Okay, I wasn't sure.
So you go by Frankie V, Frankie Vizzle.
Because that's like
Ben Hizzle.
Yeah, it's
Steve Wizzle.
It's just
Paul Rizzle.
Hip slang.
Yeah,
It's
it's hip slang. It's loose cannabis is what it is.
Not an actual
It's ganja.
legal name on his social security
Ganja,
card.
aka cannabis.
Wasn't sure.
Yeah, I didn't know we
Mr. and Mrs. Vizzles.
Wait, Frankie and Gina are on 93.3.
Oh, they are okay.
Jagger and Christy. I'll see
right.
a little bit of.
All right.
I love them too. They're just the best people. Here I am promoting all the other morning shows in town. Anybody else need a shout out across the county?
John and Tammy always need a shout out.
John and
down
Tammy
the
are
hall.
great. Check out Rock 105. I love Eddie and the show. Yeah. Anybody else want to shout out on our airwaves today? That's right. That's right. Yeah. Frankie and Gina 93.3. That's right. I love Jagger.
We don't get to listen to a lot of other morning radio for obvious reasons.
Shout out to Boy Toy Jesse.
Oh, nice.
My man. I love Boy Toy Jesse.
Absolutely.
I love all these guys.
Yep. We still have the news station in the morning, all the news crew I used to work with.
Yeah.
Not sure who's hosting now, but shout out to them too.
Yeah, fair enough.
All right.
Yes, you missed all of his. He said, "Is Frankie Vizzle's last name really Vizzle?" Yeah. He said, "Oh,
Mr. and
it's
Mrs.
just
Vizzle's boy."
Paulie, he said, "It's just hip slang." That's
Benny
what he
Hizzle.
said. Benny Hizzle. That's what I said.
Sorry.
All right, love you guys. Rob Rips 45. Is the show live somewhere tomorrow? Baja Ricks? Yes.
Baja Ricks, yeah, we'll see you at 6 a.m. tomorrow,
yeah.
bright and early. Join us.
It's our birthday too, so bring us presents.
And we believe it is our 7th anniversary, although Paul's math is now in question on everything.
Paul thinks it's 6.
But we will see you tomorrow morning from 6 to 10 at Baja Ricks. Braden's coming up next for Paulie and Woods and Ben. Have a great rest of your Wednesday from all of us here at 97.3 The Fan. So long.